jump ball, center court now, standing tall now, hold the fort down. This is showtime, more than sports now, running crunch time, we rush like fourth down.
I be taking wins, we don't mess with laws. I be taking wins, we don't mess with laws. I be taking wins, we don't mess with laws. I be taking wins, we don't mess with laws. We been on that paper chasing all that fashion. We been on that paper chasing what you ration.
Been in the grind now, we ready for prime time, ready for shine now, we ready to get smile. On the rise, all eyes up on us now, blast off spaceships till the touchdown.
Energy level on high, put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. Energy level on high, put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. Started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though.
Yeah, we are getting ready to. Speaking of we, I know sometimes you see Pro and you see Quo, but right now you see Pro and you see the homie Fly. What's good, Fly?
If not, why in the building? What's good, fam?
What it is, man?
Man, another day in paradise, man. It's good to be a good day to be alive.
It is a good day to be alive. Like every day, it is a wonderful day to be alive. It's a wonderful evening to be rocking out with the people.
Yes, sir.
We you holding it down for Quo, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Come on, man. That goes without question, man.
Absolutely, man. Maybe he'll do what you do and jump in like 10 minutes before we drop the bounce out. You know what I mean?
Oh, just when I thought that it was dark because the sun go down, it's the shade.
It's the shade. The shade is always there, man. No, man, it's the love. It's the love.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Let's say if you and Quo did a show, you wouldn't have to pop that joke with me because it'd be like 3 shows in a row. You'd be like, where'd Lyrical go? You know what I'm saying? It'd be like Pro comes in at the last second of like every other show would be how I get it done. So, but so you guys are actually bigger troopers than me in that regard. But speaking of troopers, man, shout out to Quo. Quo's some much earned time off from the ProQuo Show. It's tough coming every Friday. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. What you guys do is admirable, man. Because I know that you guys' week, man, is filled with the hustle and the bustle, man. And so then you got to have time to come up with content. And so yeah, man, it's a lot that goes into it, man. People don't know, they don't see the behind the scenes, man. And so,
yeah, I mean, we try to show them the behind the scenes. This is a lot of the behind the scenes. That's how the show was born. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or as most of my family would say, this is how the show was born. but once in a while, I catch myself still saying that. But you know what I mean? My wife pointed out for me. She's like, "I know you just said born." I was like, "No, I didn't."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
I'm pretty sure you heard me the way I didn't want to be heard, is what I like to say. Shout out to everybody checking out the ProQuo Show. What up, Fee? I see you. Yeah, man. Blake Griffin. He put Blake Griffin there because he posted a picture of his dad and his
I saw your comment, bro. Man, that was so accurate, man.
It was right. He looked just like Alden's a dapper man. His dad's a dapper man. He definitely him and Fee got a lot of similarity there. Shout out to Trina. What's up, Tree? Yeah, it's Don Juan. What's good, man? I see you.
The Mac.
He wants to know what's up with you. What's up with you?
Man, what's good, fam?
I could have popped that joke for Don Juan because getting a Don Juan appearance is very difficult.
It's magical, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, yo, I'm just gonna go right out and say it. I'm not even gonna put the verbiage up because Quo's not here. But this show is brought to you unofficially, officially by Nilla Wafers. You know what I mean? And
Ooh,
as you
official,
can see,
unofficial.
that's unofficial, official because I'm actually eating them. And I went downstairs and I was looking for my go-to every Friday night. Looking for my low-fat
Yeah,
Cheez-Its. And there just wasn't any in the crib. So I went with the snack pack, took one for my son, and he took one for the team.
He a trooper, man.
You don't know he took it for the team yet.
He a team player. Either way, man. You knew
Speaking
he'd be good with it.
You know what we did today? My boy and I took him to see the first movie he's seen in a year and a half. Yep. We actually did it.
What?
Took
him to the movies? Was he
did,
nervous, or excited?
He was excited. Here's why, though. So this foolishness of school being off today and off Monday, I don't know if that's happening where you're at, but all of a sudden,
no, sir.
It's not even happening where I'm at. It's just happening in his school. So shout out to his school. His school gave him an extra day off. They just told us 3 days ago. All the parents got this email. It's like, hey, celebrating Labor Day, we also have Friday off now as well. And we're like, okay. So they gave them Friday off when they already get Monday off. Shout out to my wife too. Monday is our 11th anniversary. Happy anniversary.
So
it's
I like
our
that
anniversary weekend, but we just got an extended day. So I went. I'm a little skeptic on the COVID thing, kind of freaking us out, as a family. My son too, he's pretty freaked out by it. And he's like, actually, this was my idea. I said, you know what? He's home. His school's home. That means we could probably go see this Paw Patrol movie that he wants to see. And no one's going to be there because school isn't really out yet.
Right. So he's the only one out of school.
Yeah. So we went later afternoon. I did the screenshot, sent it to my wife. I was like, look, there's only 2 reserved seats in this whole movie. It worked out according to as I thought. And yesterday I was checking, I was comparing it. I was looking at yesterday's seats. I'm like a Thursday. How many people are going on a Thursday anyways? But there was 4 times as many people going on a Thursday. So I don't know why people want to pop there on a Thursday. Actually, it was because the time was better than the time I was looking at because it was the early evening one.
Yeah.
It was 6-ish or something like that. So that one was popular. But this one was late afternoon and nobody there. And he was enjoying himself. It was like
I know he did.
Stuff. Yeah, man.
Shucks, man. My kids wanted to go see Space Jam because, and I didn't take them, by the way, but now I feel guilty. But I'm
the bad dad here.
It felt like sacrilege, man, to take my kids to see Space Jam, and I knew it was not going to be like the Space Jam I saw when I was their age, and so, but they got to watch it. At a fat relative's house.
Did he not?
I missed his review. I managed to read several other reviews, and the mistake I may have made was listening to people from my generation's opinion about it.
Yeah.
We're biased.
That's it. Absolutely. I mean, it's gonna be Mike all day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's one Mike. Look. I've come around on LeBron. I for the record. I think LeBron.
How far you come around? Not too far, right?
No, Michael Jordan is obviously the number one player.
Right.
I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron, he might be number 2. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the top 5.
Yeah, definitely top 5.
And here's the thing: I never liked him as a person in his early days because he was playing the Celtics. You know what I mean? And so, how I am with that. And so, but you got to respect your opponent. After a while, bro, I mean, it just gets to a point where it's like, what does this dude got to do to get,
recognition?
His due, yeah. It's I know Ray Allen saved him. Really changed his entire trajectory.
It really did. If Ray had not have made that shot, man, Tim Duncan would have got his. Tim Duncan would have been 6 for 6 in the finals like MJ. There was a lot of things.
There's a lot of things.
That one shot. Change, including stealing a win for LeBron, even though they had already lost one to the Mavericks, I think that previous year or something like that. So that would have looked real bad. That would look real bad on his resume. To me, that's still one of the biggest blemishes. Which just for the LeBronites, I'm a huge LeBron fan in general. Just when it comes to the debate, I get a little, that's
I
when I
get
start
upset
to
with it too.
separate.
I'm I'm like, let's not be crazy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even some people will say, well, I didn't see Jordan play or whatever. And it's like, you don't have to see Jordan play. There's enough of Jordan out there that, I mean, like, it's not like now every waking moment is filmed, but it's like what Jordan did on the court. I mean, he was absolute assassin. And, I've went on record before saying this too. People listening probably heard me say, I don't have an assassin mentality. Like, I have to flip a switch and you really have to motivate me to get really, like, it's like MC battling. It's like,
Right.
I have to I don't really want to crush anyone. I want to win, but I don't want to win by much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad for people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be like that. Even if I had that kind of skill, I'd be like, I'd be helping people off the floor, and old school cats be like, what are you doing? I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to play basketball.
But that's LeBron. He's passive.
Right. That's kind of how I am with
and that's the compliment of his game. And he's an exceptional passer. I think that's his biggest skill to me is his IQ. The way he understands and comprehends the game, to me, is unparalleled. But as far as
I'm with you, Effie.
Flat out competitor, bro. And to me, my number 2 is Kobe.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Like, it's easy to be in Boston and be that guy and talk about Bill Russell and Larry Bird,
and
right?
Bird,
It's easy to be that guy. And trust me, I mean, I can say, like, Larry Bird was definitely the first person that I can remember sitting down in front of the TV and watching. I mean, I was really young when Larry Bird started playing, and it was like, I remember seeing it, and then becoming a fan later on after I started to really understand what I was watching. I was like, this dude is just like, he just refuses to lose. He's just insane, just crazy, right? So I get that argument, and I get the Bill Russell with the ring argument or whatever. But I try to separate myself from the homer thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
We are very provincial fans in Boston. We don't watch college. I'm the same way. I don't really watch college. I don't watch college football. I feel like it's a waste of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't watch college football like that. I'll watch like a huge game or something every now and then. But people will say, they say to you, doing this hip hop thing or whatever, like, yo, how'd you get to be whatever? How'd you get to do that? Yeah, I'm not doing things like watching college football. You know what I mean? But I watch pros. I watch basketball. You know what I mean? I watch basketball and watching basketball just fairly, and watching enough LeBron, watching enough Kobe, watching enough, Magic and all that kind of stuff. Like, LeBron and Kobe. And, you can throw Magic, and you can throw Bird, and you can throw, and I get
a lot of
Russell,
people, depending on who
the
you
Wilt
are,
arguments.
The
I get it.
Argument.
Yeah, I get it. But it's like, Kobe, you're right. Like, in terms of an assassin, like, I want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's Mike and Kobe.
Then it's Kobe.
He emulated them. You know what I'm saying? Everything about him. So
emulated them, and that to me, for people to say, all right, LeBron's better than Kobe, it's like, I mean, if we believe that Michael Jordan,
different personalities,
you know what I mean, and if we believe that Michael Jordan is the greatest because of who he was, the only other person that's even close to him is Kobe.
But so it is a drop off. Like, I mean, it's a drop off.
It is a drop off. It's definitely a drop off, but to me, not that big of a drop off.
That much, but I would say what LeBron does different. I appreciate the passing. I appreciate the selfishness. I like watching sports that are like that. Like, I've said this openly too about, and I'm very connected to the Celtics and done a lot with the Celtics and so forth. And so I'm a homer. I get it, right? Like, Celtics are my team, right? But I have to say this: there are Celtic teams that I did not enjoy because I did not like rooting for their personalities. I did a post about it not too long ago, and some people are like, what do you mean? And I'm like, bro, if there's people on the team that you don't like as people, it's hard to root for them. And like, LeBron is a hard person to not like when you see what he does off the court, when you see how he handles himself.
I agree 1,000%.
Family man, you got to respect that stuff. And to me, that stuff does matter because I'm rooting for you as a person before I'm rooting for you as an athlete. That's just how I'm wired. Yes, I love the game, but you don't become a fan. Just like music, you don't become a fan of someone you dislike. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to. How do you become a fan of someone you dislike? Remember, they say don't meet your idols, you might be disappointed, right?
Right.
And it's like, LeBron's that dude, and as much as I
Yeah.
dislike him for everything he did to the Celtics, and and then the way he kind of handled himself a couple times, like with bad
Yeah, that whole
advice and all that.
Miami, the whole Miami
Yeah,
move
it was
was
easy to
yeah.
dislike him, easy. But
Yeah.
it's like at some point, it's like, come on, bro. And the Celtics fans are like that. They're ridiculous. They'll be like, oh, like same thing with like Ray Allen when he left. I can't believe he went to the Miami. It's like, yo, bro, they didn't
Oh
want him.
man, they didn't want him,
Like,
man. So he moved on. They got him another ring too, man. It actually really contributed. So
yep, yep,
I'm definitely a big LeBron fan, man. Like you said, just because of his whole persona, the
yep.
whole off the court thing. He's very exciting to watch as well as a player. Man, I watched this man. One of the most favorite games I think I watched him play was probably against Boston in like a fourth quarter game, and he completely controlled the game and didn't take but one shot the whole quarter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I know the
And it
game you're
was
talking
like
about.
it was spectacular, man, to
Yeah,
watch how he controlled the game
yeah,
and never took a shot until the end. And the one shot he took was a three
yeah.
to tie the game. And it
Well,
was just amazing. So
he
yeah,
beat the Celtics in that 6-game series where it was like I think it was like game 6 where he won the series, and it was like he had the best, like it was like 40 something points and he didn't miss and he was an assassin, and it was like, boy, this is gonna take an epic game from LeBron, and he kind of crapped the bed in a couple of them games,
when he does that, it
and he
makes you
pulled
feel
that
like,
out. Like
oh my
what?
God, like he has it, but
Yep.
he doesn't have it. You know,
Yeah,
it's like the
because
desire.
he defers to other people more so than most alphas do. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
he's like an alpha beta. He's not like a true alpha. He's like he is, but he's also like, I got other people on my team and
I
they're
gotta
open.
take care
You know
of
what
the
I'm saying?
folk.
And I like that. I'd rather see that. I get frustrated with superstars that do that. We got players like that in the Celtics that turn into the black hole, and you're like, come on, bro, the dude's wide open in the corner. I know you can dribble, and I know you got to show us the move, but it's like. What happened? The ProQuo Show, whatever we're calling this, is definitely turned into the NBA talk. We definitely went
So I
down.
was just about to ask you, man, about the song that you did the intro with. I don't think I heard that.
Oh yeah, man, that's it's a Freedom Corner production because Jay produced that, Jay Brown,
Yeah,
and
I saw that in the title. I was like, oh, I hadn't heard that one.
yeah. We just messed with a couple that he did a couple weeks ago, and we were in fact, I just sent an email. Shout out to the Angel. We just got a request to do a song for a movie placement. We just sent them a few songs, and that we've been talking with more and more people for sync and licensing with a lot of music. And so, for those, you've probably heard Quo and I speak about it too. Those of you guys out there
Yeah,
with sample free music, that helps. Clean music, that helps. And there's a different formula for commercial versus maybe a movie. And that one is a little bit more placement. Like you can almost picture that on a clip, 5 seconds of Sports Center, maybe. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, it kind of has that vibe. So we made that kind of intently for that, and I was like, hey, you know what? Sounds kind of like an intro. Let's try it as an intro and see what happens. Plus, it's not published, so it doesn't get our show shut down like our other song does. Because the Facebook police, you play anything that's on YouTube, and they're like, bing, or
You're
anything that's published.
going out like this, B.
Yeah, and that song is not officially published yet. So I was like, that's why we can talk to people right now who are chiming in. A lot of people are getting frustrated that we can't really answer their replies because that's what happens as soon as we play something. Facebook is like, sorry, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, because like we said, we're doing a shortened show tonight because there's no Quo. And we actually, I got to ask you this too, because we've been working on so much. I was talking about, Quo taking a break too. Part of it is just the taxing schedule of what this stuff can do, and he's trying to get, 100% right. But at the same time, it's like, we all got to think about that in this age. It's like, look, even what we're doing right now, which is from Quo and I, what we established as a release, it's still social media driven. It's still
definitely
being on in some extent. You know what I mean?
I mean, all the time, man. It's really almost an all day thing, man. Until you just deliberately detach, like you said, when you need to. But it's an all day thing, man. If it's not this, then it's the emails and the texting and the clubhousing and all those variables, man, that go on. It's a lot, bro. It's a whole lot.
I have this conversation with a lot of people, and I was just having it actually earlier today with someone I was talking with, and we were saying like, you know, exactly how social media is made to make your life simpler, and it definitely makes it like, I don't know,
More complicated.
yeah, well, I catch myself saying this all the time. I said, like, where the hours go in the day? And most of the time, I mean, a lot of us in this world can relate right now, even how the show started. We're home more than we've ever been. But it's like where the hours go, and the hours go dealing with a lot of stuff on social media half the time.
I had this conversation probably 4 hours ago with L, if that long ago,
Yep.
about really just, striking that balance and really taking that leap. My schedule is so demanding that I don't have the as much time as I would like, or the energy.
Yeah.
Because number one, my job is extremely demanding. It requires me to
Is it
really
9
be
to
hands
5,
on.
8 to 6? What are your hours?
Man,
All over?
yeah, really, honestly, man, I could sometimes I'm in 6:30. It just depends on what's going on. On most times, I try to get there by 7:30.
Right.
You know,
Oh yeah, I remember you
then
talking a little bit
yeah,
about
about
that before, yeah.
7:30 or 7, and I'll just spend some time in the car, just meditating, reading, writing,
Right.
just doing stuff that I know I'm not
Me
gonna get.
too.
I'm not gonna get once I walk into the
Once you walk
building,
in, it's on and
it's
popping.
it's on
Yeah.
and popping, bro. And
Yeah.
then from there, my day is almost just for the most part downhill, because by the time I get off of work, I'm completely drained and exhausted.
Yeah.
Then I got to come home, be daddy, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then my wife, she's grinding out in the evening. So in the evenings, it's just
Oh,
me and my kids. And so, I'm either preparing dinner. And then, of course, they expect me to prepare dinner. I'm a chef too. So they just like, okay, Dad, what you cooking? Dad, what you cooking? So I just can't come home and not do
Yep.
nothing. And then
Yep.
for me, it's an investment too, man, because I feel like I've served all these people all day, whether it was my staff or my customers. I'm like, I cannot come home and not serve my family.
Mm.
And so, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of them the same way I've been taking care of everybody else all day.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And
it makes sense.
then,
You
man,
have that guilt.
yeah, some of it's guilt too, and some of it's just a desire too, man, to really just serve. It's just something that I really just get pleasure out of, and just joy, almost like a purpose and a fulfillment. But to that point, it's like a gift and a curse though, because now when I'm thinking about music all day though, and
I was gonna say, when do you find the time to create? Like, you doing it in the car, or like you find
I'm doing it in the car. I'm doing it in my early morning meditations.
Yep.
I'm
So
doing
it's
it.
quasi meditation. That's
Really,
metamusication.
really, it is. Really, it is.
Yeah.
But this, man, it don't take me a long time to write either,
Right.
because I always got flows and
Yes.
schemes and stuff in my head.
Yeah.
And then so once I start writing, then that time even expedites even more, because most times it's just getting it out your head.
Yeah.
And then once I start writing, and I get a N word, and then that's just gonna open up a floodgate. And so it doesn't take me a lot of time to write. I don't write as much as I would like to, because of my schedule and my time. I could probably write and record a song every day.
Right.
If I had the time. But it's the challenge, man. So yeah, Elle and I talked about that earlier today, man. It was just like, man, bro.
We got to show people. You haven't even seen this, I don't think. We got to show people. Nah, this is the pitch, man. We got to show people the pitch, and it's got some fly on there. You ready? Ready for the pitch?
Yes, sir.
This is pitch and fly. So if you want to book the ProQuo Show to come to your institution, we got something for you. Ready? We're gonna show them. I don't even think you've seen it.
I hadn't seen it. I only heard. I have not seen it.
You only heard it exists, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So bam. So it looks like that. So little ProQuo Show, right? You see that, right?
Yeah.
You see Pro. You see Quo. You see ProQuo. You see ProQuo symbol. And then you see Freedom Quarter Brand
FCB.
The ProQuo Show live with special guest Fly. And, little ProQuo biography. A little bit about what we do, a little bit about this, and what ProQuo can do for you when we come to your institution. And Fly, if the money's right, you know what I'm saying, we can bring the Fly Master. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If people got the paper in order, you know what I'm saying, we're bringing the whole show on the road. So if you're interested in the ProQuo Show with Fly coming your way, what we basically proposing to do is I do a lot of college shows, a lot of institution shows, and I do a lot of where I'm speaking and performing. So in the same thing, and what this is sort of a play on that, where we're talking about, we actually do the show at your institution with either the students or the faculty involved on the show potentially, and we're talking about the process of what we do right here, how we talk about when we're writing, and what it looks like when we're doing our thing.
That's
You know what I mean?
clever.
Yeah,
And that's clever, man. That's like a 2-for-1, man. You get a twofer.
that's it. That's
You
it.
get the wisdom and a performance potentially, like you said.
Yeah.
If the financial situation is
Right. I still
yeah
get people inquiring, right? Like for the last 3 months, I've still had people inquiring about what I'm doing, right? And it's people that I've done shows for in the past that don't know still what I'm doing, like ProQuo wise, right? People that haven't even seen this show,
right.
people from colleges and high schools and middle schools, and and I'm like, hey, I'm doing this other thing right now too, and so just trying to put that in the ethosphere as opposed to just the Professor Lyrical show. People want to know about the
Right.
ProQuo show, and obviously we got an album out. Fly is on 2 of them tracks. Fly's got his own music out. We all Freedom Corner brand. We need to bring it to all y'all. So that's
That'll
it.
be dope, man. Can you imagine?
I can.
Jay Brown on the stage, man, mixing it up.
That's exactly. So we have
Woo!
Quo and I have been building on something else other than just the ProQuo show, with Jay doing just that as well. And we've talked to LD a little bit about it. A few other people too, that some of which you may or may not have met. I probably shouldn't say too much, but because some of that we're not ready to talk about.
Yeah.
But the ProQuo show idea, definitely we think is cool. And yeah, Freedom Corner brand, LD, book it. We definitely think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just imagine, like, a lot of times, right? These, I've done a few TED Talks and keynoted a lot of things. And what happens when you're keynoting? The expectation is that you're coming to like pour the wisdom into the people, and it becomes very one way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I was trying to think of a way where we could get people, no matter what you do, even teaching. I mean, you deal with this, right? It's like if we were teaching class right now via online, people can turn their cameras off. It's tough to build up the confidence to speak when there's 20 other people looking at you, let alone if there's hundreds. And when you do these auditorium shows or whatever, and you're like, anybody got any questions? No one has
Nobody's
any
gonna raise their
questions.
hand.
Right. Yeah. Until the end. Unless you set it up that way beforehand. You really got to provide the environment where it's, but even that, you're going to get the sort of the extroverted people that are always willing, and it's the introverted people who are in the back and don't get a chance. I got a chance to do one of the college shows I did was at a university where all of the shout out to Landmark. It was all the students that were there had some kind of learning disability. And so it was a lot of people who were introverted or were dealing with something else, right? Whether it could have been dyslexia, it could have been a lot of stuff. It could be ADHD, right? So the school was real embracive of that culture. And I'll tell you what, I got more participation from that show in terms of people
Really?
being willing to come to this. Yeah, because, we set that environment right. It was just basically a theater where I was the guest, and I had, everything was on a backdrop behind me, the music, I'm scanning through the internet, showing them different things, PowerPoint, whatever. But it was very interactive. Like, you set it up like, hey, we're gonna do this like a talk show, essentially. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing here. So
what's the secret? What's the secret to prepping the environment so that it can be more interactive when it's showtime?
I think the first thing, I'll even use the Landmark show, right? So you get the dude who comes out and does the big intro for you, and they read your bio, right? And your bio sounds way more impressive than you really are in real life, right?
As it should.
You know what I mean? And I usually make that joke, like whether it's a syllabus or it's a class, and I'm just like, I mean, that sounds real cocktail party nice, but I am not, I'm not as clever as that sounds. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not as, so you break the ice, I think, in ways to say I'm very approachable. And for years, quite honestly, I was not that approachable. I am very introverted, and I was standoffish, and I've come out of my shell a lot. I think my wife has a lot to do with that. She's an extreme extrovert, and just having a mirror held up to you, and she's like, really, you really check yourself lately? Like you can just sit in a cave over there and not come out, and you get that mirror held up for you with someone saying it. So I just go out of my way to early on, like, introduce humor. It's intimidating if you hear whatever your accolades are in your chosen field. If you're someone that's, let's say, worthy of someone booking you, there's probably a reason. And when they read that, a bunch of people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I could never do that or whatever.
Right.
Whether it's a professor in a class, I think that too. And I share that right away. I'm like, yo, check it, everybody. I'm like, when I'm sitting in my math classes, when I was going for my master's and I was reading the bio of I was like, I could never be as smart as this dude. Like, how in the world can I get to that point? You know,
Right.
and little by little, it kind of happens that you at least get close to it because you practice, you put in the time.
Right.
And it's just like, yo, I come out and I'm like, there's two things I do well in the world. You know, I can teach math, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can rap. That's about it. You know, everything else I'm like a B minus. You know,
I'm
like,
telling you, man, you're just throwing stuff in there after that.
yeah, man. So just like, yo, so let's just have a conversation at any time you feel like it. And I made a joke out of it too. When I said it at Landmark where people had ADHD, I'm like, anytime you feel like interjection, an interjection might be worthy, and I have a feeling here there's gonna be a lot of that. You know, it's like just throw it right on out. You know what I mean? Just it's not. Don't raise your hand. Just you can walk up to the stage, do whatever you want. You can stop the whole damn show if you want, and just be like,
if you want, this is what we gonna do. So yeah, man, if y'all listening, this is Icebreakers 101, man. The man has to break ice every year. As a teacher, he has different groups of people. So that's some good info, man. I'm glad you mentioned that because it is important to be engaging and make people comfortable. I know you mentioned being introverted. I don't really know if I'm introverted or not.
You strike me as introverted.
I believe I am. And when you said, the reason why I mentioned this is because you said that your wife is one of the reasons why you kind of come out of your shell a little bit. And my wife's the exact same way. She's like extremely extroverted. And like, she's like, kind of letting me know of several times in the past, like, you kind of antisocial, and she don't like
exactly it.
Like, people will come to my house and I won't even talk to them, and they'll be visiting her, and I'm just like,
check it out. I don't know there. I see that last name.
Yeah, that's and I'm like,
I think that's inside information right there.
And she's the same way with me. She's part of the reason why I've become a lot more, social but I don't have a problem with being outspoken though. Never have had that problem with saying how I feel.
Me either. Yeah,
but I'm just not really into throwing myself into, and I really enjoy time to myself and being in my own head.
Me too.
And I don't know if that's because I spend so much time giving or in output mode, putting out, whether it's performing or teaching or coaching or training or working, whatever, that when I do have time alone, I don't want to be bothered.
Yep.
I want to, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm kind of like on the fence with being introverted, because a lot of it has to do with, I'm just like, I couldn't wait to get a minute for myself. And so it's just like, when I don't have to talk to nobody, I'm just like, no, because I have to all other time.
Yeah, no, I was, it's funny. I was looking at my wife's website here, right? Looking at my wife's this is my wife's website. I've never put up my wife's website, I don't believe. Definitely, I would she'll get mad at me. She'll be like, "Why are you putting my stuff?" So that's my wife. This is her site, right? So Nicole Jones coaching, boom, and she got the thing, and boom, boom, there she is. And she's and you can just tell she's extroverted. She's
you can tell,
genuinely happy to see you. You know what I mean? She's like, hey, let's talk.
Hey, you over there?
Discovery or figure out where you are, who you are, like all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I could never imagine like doing what she does, like the way that she does it, like she's genuinely like a listener who wants to know your emotional state and wants to make you as comfortable as she can, whereas I do want you to be as comfortable as you can. And it's like, but I don't know if I want to know your emotional state. You know what I'm saying?
Just work out your own feelings. Work out your own
when
feelings.
you figure that out, I'll be right here. We can work on some lyrics. I got some math for you. You know what I mean? We can talk about science. We can talk about comparative world religion. We can talk about, I'm down to talk, but I hope you get the feeling part worked out.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that, bro. So I think I'm stuck in the middle. I honestly believe I'm stuck. I'm wedged.
Here's the deal. You're a rapper. And the thing is like, as an artist, it's hard. And trust me, I know a lot of artists who are deep down introverts. And I think clearly both are from what we're saying. But the middle part for me, there was no chance of me being in the middle before I was like out of my teens. Maybe late teens. But it was like, you know what I mean? It was just like people that raised their head up and did things were people that got them whack-a-mole back down. It's just how I thought, and I better
Oh
have thought
wow.
long and hard about what I'm going to say. But honestly, you think about how much hip hop is done. It's like, Fee and I was talking about that, that kind of iconic moment. I jumped up on the table and rapped in high school kind of thing. And that for me was like so out of my character to do something like
Way
that.
out of your
It was
comfort
only
zone.
because I knew, okay, this is something I've done. I've practiced this. Everybody knows it kind of, but they don't know it like this, and they're about to find out. And now I'm like ready. I would always like try to put my best foot forward. I was never trying to be like I wasn't really a class clown or anything like that. I could be in your class and you not know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't the loud, person or whatever, but through hip hop, I say it. Hip hop gave me confidence, express myself publicly, done
Yeah.
1,000 shows, run my own companies. A lovely wife in my life, how she had come to me through music like a vocals on tracks when they accompany. Working hard for my queen, grind of a bumblebee. But now I teach the world through my words, still it humbles me. I hug my son once he wakes, his love comforts me. It makes it hard to hate on another, remaining ugly. To be the best I can be, evolve culturally, involved in my community, living life more productively. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole
Yeah.
essence of me is later in life, kind of once you get your purpose, your
Yeah.
why,
The whole
coming out through
maturation
hip hop.
process.
Yeah, like it can change you to see like, okay, I know I have something to offer now, and I know I have a couple of skills that I can share. Now I'm okay with it. I'm okay if I'm prepared, but if I'm not prepared, I'm not saying anything.
I'm
I'm
not
just
saying a
like,
word.
yeah, I'll go read a book. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's challenging, man. So to the people that are introverted, because sometimes I think people look at being introverted as somewhat of a social disadvantage.
Mm,
But for me, I believe that, to me, I use it in a manner that allows me to be more prepared when I open my mouth to speak.
yeah,
So you're right. So like that time when I'm just not into everybody's face and not socially involved,
mm,
I'm preparing, like you said. It's like, yeah, I'm introverted in a lot of ways. So when I do open up my mouth, I'm not introverted because I'm shy or because I'm afraid, but I'm preparing. Like
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah.
I spend that time that I'm sacrificing socially, just really preparing myself and
Right,
working
right,
on
right, right.
myself, so that when I do have those moments and opportunities to be extroverted, I'm the best version of myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's well said. I mean, it's I consider myself very average intelligence, right? And I consider myself very average, maybe below average in terms of like any natural talent in any given direction, right? Like I
Yes.
never felt like very talented at anything particularly. Never felt like very like smart, right, about anything
Yeah.
particularly. But I did start to notice the more time I'd put into something, right?
The
Like I
better
would
you
get better
got
at
at
it,
it.
right? I get
Yeah.
better, and I was like, yo, there's something to this. And so the funny part is having dedicated most of my life, the vast majority of my life, to writing lyrics, right, which is what I love more than anything in the world, is that I've definitely opened pathways in my
Right.
mind, right?
In your
Like
mind.
literally, I mean like the
Yes,
hardwire of
sir.
synapses connecting, right?
The whole gray area.
Yeah. And so I've connected disparate regions of my mind. I can feel it, right? And so the confidence that comes about of knowing, like
Whew.
when you're doing like even metaphors, right? And when you freestyle, I try to say this to people so it doesn't just sound like some, oh, we're trying to make hip hop sound cool. Nah, it's like the when you take it at a deep level, when you're writing all the time and you're searching for knowledge and you're
Right.
searching for a way how to relay it back and you're searching for a rhyme, much like in comedy, searching for the funny. It feels very similar. Like when you're trying to create a punchline in comedy or punchline in hip hop, it's very similar. And I think the people who do it well, the people who are able to tap into those other regions, and to do it, you do need to feed your mind with different experiences and read and take different points of
Yes,
view.
indeed.
And it all helps. And after a while, that builds confidence because now I know from doing this, putting in the thousands and thousands of hours, that it's like, oh, there is a pathway I can find to get from A to Z over here. That when I was younger and didn't do it enough, I had no idea like how to even relate different ideas. Now I have a frame of reference, and it feels like it's on autopilot. And so what I'll say to everyone out there is, I'm like, it's kind of like what Epi put here, right? 95% of all artists are introverted, especially if they write and draw, make music, because it's a lonely process. That's what I was just going to say. When they got to put it out there, really the opposite, right? It's the hours it takes and the dedication just to be okay at something, just to be okay when you feel like you're below average, is a monumental hill to climb. And when I picked math, when I decided to pick math, I picked it from a deficit, from like where that's what the smart people do. So I want to be called smart, kind of thing.
Right.
And so then when you go, then this is what I'm saying about, you show up at a thing and people are like, yo, he must be so smart. It's like, no, dude. Like, okay, maybe the version of me you're seeing now, but it's like most in my life really has just come from trying and building
trial
and
and error,
and then after a while you get a little better and you have something to build on, and then you can stack upon it and you can stack and build, and then that confidence comes. But it takes so many man hours away from the light. So I look forward, it kind of feels like what you were saying, I look forward to that downtime by myself, and because I know that's the only way for me to prosper. That's been my process.
That's it, man.
Not that I don't like people. It's just that they hold me back. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's really the truth, man. And you know what's crazy though is that the level of being able to accomplish things consistently doesn't really happen in a process that involves a lot of other people.
That's right.
And that's just the truth.
To get skilled in one area, yeah.
Right.
Unless it's in team building.
Right. See, but the thing, even the thing about team building is that, you know, the team, if you you know what I mean? If you look at professional sports makes this, you know, brings clarity to the process of that, because a team full of just okay people, they can work great as a team, cohesive, and they will have success because of that. But there will always need to be someone on that team that creates separation. And that process of one of those kids, even if it's just high school kids, somebody has to be practicing away from practice.
Yeah.
Like, and you really, you learn how to play with your team when you're practicing with the team, but you don't necessarily get better as an individual until you're by yourself working on your game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I guess it's probably especially true in competitive natures like sports, or, you know, riding, or you're competing for something. But it's that time you spend with yourself, man, because really, like you said, because we all have potential, the time that it takes to unlock that potential is the time you spend with yourself, because we're always our biggest competition. So I'm spending that time learning how to conquer myself, getting outside of my own box, looking at my deficits, acknowledging my deficits, working at my deficits. You know what I'm saying? Working at that stuff you do on your own, you know, in your own mind. And you're your biggest competitor, man, and your biggest enemy at the same time. So I
think too, like when we're younger, like I think about the jobs I did when I was young. What give me like 3 jobs that you've done that are like crazy, like looking back, that are like
man,
I can't believe you did.
Bro, I
want 3 really.
I worked once at an 88-cent store. And yeah, bro, I can't believe I did that, because the guy that
we
I
don't have
for,
88-cent stores. We only got dollar stores. So
bro, then. So you gotta understand. You gotta understand.
That's even lower budget, huh?
You gotta understand, bro. I was at an 88-cent store. I worked for a guy, and this is not, you know, any religious shade or any sense, but this guy practices a certain religion, and he didn't, you know, bathe regularly. More importantly, he didn't use.
That's the religion of stank.
He didn't use, you know, antiperspirants and, you know, things like that to prevent and so.
Hey, now he said antiperspirant and he's gone. It's like, that's exactly what we want to do. And by the way, Fly, when you watch this video back, I want you to realize there were no hands. I did not kick you out.
That was fun. That was the shade.
I was like, no hands. I want you to know, watch the video back. That was not me this time. But you did talk about being funky. And so boom.
And listen, bro, and he was funky too, bro. Yeah. He was funky. But he was super cool, man. He paid me cash straight out the register, man, every week. Man.
88 cents.
Yeah, man. He paid me in forms of 88 cents. Let's just say it like that. And so I enjoyed the job, man.
How long did you last at the 88 cent store?
Man, I probably worked there a year. Maybe. Wow. I was a teenager. I was in high school.
I think it's like dog years when you work at an 88-cent store.
It was, bro. It was terrible, man, because everything in there was cheap, bro. And I'm like the stock boy, right? And so everything in there is this big. You know how long it took to put out a box of trinkets, bro? I hated that job. Dice, you know, it's just a bunch of stuff, man. Listen, you got to stack this stuff and
I
make
used
it
to
neat and
cry.
arrange
My
it.
parents would take me. We had this store in Lowell called Capital. And
Yeah.
I used to cry when they were so disorganized. I'd go in there like 4 and I'd start organizing the pens and the. I'm definitely a little on the spectrum, you know what I mean? Like the ADD, the ADHD. I was like, no, I have to. Obsessive compulsive. I was like,
Obsessively, and it has to be right.
Yeah, and it wasn't
I
right.
feel you.
So
I feel you
I
on
would
that.
just cry and take me in a store. But I sold 88-cent store, bro. I would have lost it. I would have been in there organizing the little, like crayons or whatever it was too.
Exactly. So I guess probably that was retail, really just retail in general. Once I got into food, I fell in love with it.
I've never really done any like legit retail. I mean, I worked
yeah,
rental car company place. That's not like selling something per se, you know what I mean?
right.
But that retail grind, man,
It's different.
I'm not built for it because like
It's different.
I'm not a salesperson. Like I'm gonna say when I sold the best when I sold the collision damage waiver. See, shout out to all my enterprise brethren. When those trying to get you to buy the damage waiver, the CDW,
Right.
call it, right? And the best way I sold is once I believed in it. I used to tell all my managers and stuff, I'd be like, I became a manager, but I was like, the only way I can sell something, I got to believe in it. So somebody's got to convince me of this, or I'm not going to be worth, I don't even care. Right. And even when I really believe in something, it's like our album. Like right now, I'm not wearing a ProQuo shirt. I've probably worn one 4 times. So I need to be like, yo, we got ProQuo shirts.
Right.
Look at the store. Check it out. Our album is available on all available outlets. Blah blah blah. I don't really do that well. It's not my strong suit, And I'm like, yo, if you buy it, you buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That's me, man. That's me. That's my flaw.
When I had this thing out, that record up there, when I had that record out and the album that went with it, I made a rule. And I was literally everywhere. Like you couldn't, not run into me from like 2000 to 2007, pretty much in 2006-ish in Boston when that was out. Dude, I was like everywhere. So I made a rule. I was like, because I knew people wanted the album, right? It started getting popular. So I was like, I'm not coming in the house until I sell 10. I started out with 20. I was like,
right.
I'm not coming back in the house. And I could do it at that time, but I'm not coming back in until 20. And then, after like the first few weeks, I was like, all right, I'm going to change that number to 10. And I'm like, I'm not coming back in. And I was selling t-shirts and doing all that stuff. And
the whole 9.
Only because I believed in the album and I believed in the music and whatever. But if that was your stuff, man, and it was like, I only listened to it like twice, I'd be like, yeah, it sounds good, but like I can't be sleeping out in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
I was like, I really got to know what you did when you made that album. I got to know everything that went into it. I got to tell me the lyrics, and then I can get up on the stoop and I'll be like, yo, did you hear track 3?
Rock with that. I feel you, bro. Like yeah. I'm 110,000% with you on that whole process, man. That's definitely my flaw, man. L, aka Charlie, man. He's always like, man, bro, you got to really, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, man, that's probably why. I mean, you are, so cool, man, because that's you all day long. And I'm just like, man, just give me an hour or 2 hours alone, and I give you I got something for you.
Right,
but if you want me to spend 6 hours in front of people auctioning,
yes, that's
I'm
training.
like,
yeah, that's training. Yeah, it's ridiculous. What I was saying is like about the earlier careers, though. Like for me, like I mean, you did retail and you did the 88 store. I mean, those are both retail. What up? We'll give me one more.
It's pretty much all retail, bro. Like,
all right. So you're on the retail lane. Well, check this out. My point was, and I think retail falls into that, but my earlier jobs that I did were all, with the exception of like working in the grocery store checkout thing, right?
Yeah.
I did paper route. I did like maintenance and like landscaping and like all that kind of construction, right? All these kind of things where you're pretty much by yourself, right? And that landscaping job I did for years, like my whole teens, I was doing that job. And I'm thinking of rhymes all day. I'm going in there, I'm mowing the lawn, thinking of rhymes. I'm doing menial labor kind of, right? And like my mind is elsewhere, and you can come off as stupid. You know what I'm saying? And like my boss would be like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, in my head, I'm going, bro, I'm thinking of rhymes. You know what I mean?
And you look weird doing it.
You look weird. Yeah, you look like you have no clue.
And then you start getting into it.
Moving the mouth points. And the dude had no understanding of hip hop whatsoever. And it was like, and then I think of like the jobs immediately after that. Like even going into the rent-a-car one, same thing. Car writing rhymes. Domino's Pizza, I'm like writing rhymes. I love that job. Like I was like free pizza, and I get to write rhymes all day. Then I work for an office job doing my homework, which was actually a funeral home.
Right. Yeah, I remember you telling me
Dude, I
about
was
that.
like writing rhymes. Like I thought it was the greatest thing ever. But then it's like later in life, all that stuff prepares you, all that behind the scenes stuff where you're getting your mind right, you're doing all this stuff, you're getting your craft down, and then you get into all of a sudden you're in the public facing jobs. So when I started doing the rent-a-car job, and then when I started teaching,
Yeah,
you have to be on. You know what I'm saying?
you
It was
gotta
like,
be on.
and I'm like, I only get into that because of the individual side of doing the math stuff led to the external part of actually teaching it. And it's like, and I wanted to really just help people in my city because I knew people didn't understand basic math and business, and especially people
Right.
in the hip hop. I was like, yo, I can make a difference here. You want to find meaning, you want to make a difference, but when you want to find meaning and want to make a difference, it usually isn't landscaping. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's usually
Right.
not
Right.
construction or paper routes. It's like you gotta be dealing with helping people. And it's like
Helping people.
you're gonna be front facing. And after a while, it's like, okay, you get comfortable with it, but it was not natural. And so it's funny because you say this to people, and they're like, "No, man, you seem so external." It's like, okay, I know why you'd say that, but trust me, if you weren't here right now, I'd be much more happy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and it's
Yeah,
funny. We end up really just coming around full circle
right.
and meeting in the middle. It was like you was just saying, like that time you spent alone
Yeah,
is what prepares you.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
really
right.
like it's that true. To me, we basically just saying the same exact thing, coming around
Yeah,
full circle and meeting back in the middle with it's something special, man, for people. And I'm really only saying this and to let people know, man, that are introverted who sometimes feel like they're at a deficit because they're not as social as other people, or because they can't sell a car, or
right.
because they can't market or promote. Man, there's a place for you
So
in
this
the
brings me
world.
this brings me to Yeezy. It brings me to Yeezy because I don't know what you think about the app,
Ah,
but like we got to talk about it before we get out of here. But it's like the whole Yeezy thing is like I feel like Kanye is like one of us. What we're saying. I mean, I know he's
yeah, he's definitely
obviously
introverted.
definitely an introvert who's been forced into this, and now he's freaking crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't mean crazy, but he's gone. He's gone. Like he's
He's
a little
he's
touched
he's
because it's
Jay,
too much
bro.
for him.
He's Jay. He's
It's too
Jay.
much.
But you know what? And I remember having this conversation with my wife. Is I told her that I don't really get excited about the extroverted part of my life as I do the introverted part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really get excited about being around a lot of people. I get excited about being alone or being in a small circle.
A small circle, like
You know
give
what
me
I'm
four
saying?
people
Like,
max, and I'm good. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't get as excited about the extroverted things. And I was telling her, and I started to think about people in my youth that I looked up to that from the outside looking in, they looked like weirdos, right? They looked crazy, psychotic. And Michael Jackson is one of those people who, and I literally had the same example and same discussion with her. It's like this guy really just didn't want to be bothered.
But he's
He
thrust
really
into
was only famous because of how talented he was, but as a person, he just wanted to be left alone.
right.
And it made him look crazy because he did, what appeared to us as weird stuff to avoid people
Yeah.
because he really was introverted.
Yeah, I'll build an amusement park for my house and have llamas and stuff.
Because I don't want to leave.
I don't want to
it.
go. Yeah,
I don't want to go
leave.
nowhere.
I'll
You know
call
what
it
I'm saying?
Neverland, where I never have
Man,
to leave. Yeah.
it makes so much sense to me now as an adult and really starting to understand myself, like you said, going through that maturation process.
Right.
And like Epi said about how you be surprised at how introverted artists really are.
Yes.
And then you try to throw them in the limelight and they just don't respond well. And Kanye's definitely one of those people, I feel, in my opinion, that's definitely introverted. And it's part of what we love about him is what comes or what birthed in him being introverted. All that time he spends in his own mind and working on his craft, it's made him ingenious. And it makes him look weird. People like Robert Williams, God rest in peace, and Jim Carrey, people who look weird, have these introverted, but when we see them, it just seems like, man, they putting on for the stage, but they really just,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
If
He
I
wanted
was
to be in the
sitting in that
back.
talk show seat every night, I mean, like I have a comedy side. There's no question about it. Like, so I know I'd be saying some crazy stuff, and it just if you get even taken the wrong way too, and you do it partly to defend your own sanity too. It's like at some point,
Exactly.
and then you get kind of almost having I see like Kanye sometimes feels like he has to defend his crazy sometimes, you know, and it's like he gets caught up in the vicious circle. What I gotta read some of these because they weren't popping up, but now they are.
But he's right, bro. People don't get him, and that's his point. He's trying to prove like y'all don't get me. I'm trying to explain myself because y'all don't get me. He's right. Most people don't.
Epi writes, and Epi spells like me too, like how he thinks it should be. Da Vinci, I would write it like that too. Leonardo da Vinci was an introvert, and when he was discovered, he had a stockpile of art and ideas that still influenced the world. He himself was said to believe he was a bad artist with great ideas. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Epi dropping jewels tonight.
Gems. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
telling you.
I put in some organizing in at a Ross. I didn't even know what a Ross was till I moved here. We didn't have Ross like where I was. I never noticed them before. The Ross department stores. It's like a notch or two below Marshall's. Like I put in some organizing in at a Ross. By the way, does everyone have the rankings in your head, like in terms of like the Marshall's archive hierarchy? Like it goes Marshalls, right? And you might want to say Marshalls Home Goods is like the nicest of all, but Marshalls is sitting up top, right? So it's like Marshalls, TJ Maxx and more. TJ Maxx and more.
TJ Maxx is probably my favorite.
TJ Maxx comes in at a cut, below Marshalls, but it's like, because here's why. They don't really have men's shoes. So can you really be on the same level? If I want shoes, you gotta
if you have a more limited.
Right. But what they'll give you is they'll give you a better customized selection of men's jewelry.
Exactly.
So it's a trade-off. You know what I mean?
It's a trade-off.
But then you have like I don't even know if they're part of the same family of stores, but there's what was the other one? AJ Wright? Is that what it was? Yeah, AJ Wright. You don't even see that.
Did y'all have Michaels?
Yeah, but Michaels sells like flowers and stuff like that.
Yeah, furniture and all that stuff.
Pottery. No, not even furniture. They sell like pottery and frames.
Who else I was gonna say? Oh, but what I've noticed
then is Ross. So
what about like Burlington's and
Burlington? Yeah, so Burlington's coming in at like right around the Ross space, but you can find a gem at Burlington's for like $8 that
definitely can. Yeah, they just made a mistake.
It was just a mistake, and since they don't, what it is what they clearly do is they don't pay enough, but they have some stuff that should have been marked twice as much as they marked it for. So the person's like, I don't care. You get this.
Look, man, I got this $8 wheel and a gun right now, and I'm just going
boom. That's what you're getting. Every now and then you'll find a pair of shoes that look like they're $100, and they're like, those are $7.
Yeah, man.
So it's funny. I go to Burlington Coat Factory, and it's like, if you're not a regular looker, like I'm a regular looker, right? I don't buy much, but I look a lot.
Yeah.
It's Fat Joe could use that. And give it the big pun and Fat Joe. I don't buy a lot, I look. But no, for real, is that if you're not up on the game, see, I go in and then I go to another one and I go, oh, you have this at 2 stores. And I go to the third one and then maybe you even go co-sign it off at Marshall's and they all got it. And I'm like, that looked kind of cool, but now I realize it's one that you bought 6 million of, and I don't
exactly. You don't want that one. You don't want that track.
So
you want that boutique feel.
But when I go in and I find the boutique gem, right, and I'm like, yo, I've never seen this anywhere, and I see it's $7. Now I know they made the mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That should have been 7000. And you pop, and you can find that at Burlington Coat Factory. You don't find that too often at Marshalls. Marshalls would just be a little bit below average. But you can drop some money at Marshalls if you're not careful,
Man, what is L sending us, man? It's one of those situations, man, with Ye where I'm completely.
I know.
I'm a huge fan of Kanye, man. As fans, we're always unfair to artists when we say we want the old version.
Yeah, but I do want the old version of Kanye
because we all want the old version of our favorite.
We're all waiting on it.
You know what I'm saying? We all want the old version of our favorite artists, man. But the truth about it is, in order to remain relevant and to stay an artist, like you just mentioned, we all evolve and mature and we adapt and we become different versions of ourselves. And so what's probably the most common about writing is that you often write from experiences, current events, where you are. And so of course your content is going to change over the years. Especially if your money changes.
I can give you some examples that don't, and one of them is one of my favorite artists of all time, AZ, man.
Oh yeah,
AZ's his new album's done. The single just dropped. Yo, it's a time warp for him. Every single album sounds like it's 1998. Like,
and that see, but that's the thing. And so then you start to compare like the popularity, and what the last part is the popularity and the money. When you reach a different status,
yeah,
your life changes, and so because of that, your content changes.
yeah,
and at the core of that, of course, obviously, I don't think we ever become a different person. We, like you said, we become a more refined, more mature version of ourselves. But your life changes, and again, you rap about current events, your current situation, what your lifestyle is like. You can't rap about being broke no more because you're not.
yeah.
And so that relatable rap is what
it's so
people
funny.
love.
They're talking about the struggle, and it's like,
Yeah, you're not struggling.
Yeah.
And so then now if you try to rap about the struggle and you're a millionaire, like people are gonna like you capping, bro. You can't that's not you. And so and then if you
And the
rap
other way
about
around,
not
so.
being right, now people still mad at you. So you just really got to stay true to who you are as an artist and just go with the maturation process. And as you mature, you just mature with your music and you let your music mature. Like, Jay, you could tell Jay-Z, maybe Rick Ross, their style of rap hadn't changed much as far as you could tell what's been important to them. But people will forget that when Jay finally hit mainstream, he was kind of almost, older than most people were when they did that, right? So he was already kind of mature when he got mainstream anyway. Yeah. And same thing, people like Rick Ross and stuff like that. And so they still kind of rap from that boss. I've always had it kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But when Ye was talking
funny
about,
I'm sorry. No, what were you gonna say?
When Ye was rapping about working at Gap, and now he has clothes in Gap.
Yeah,
he's not gonna be the same person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We was dropping College Dropout and all that stuff, and he was like, "I'm working this grade shift, and I ain't made nothing." He can't rap about that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you
but you can reference that fact though, and people would appreciate it. You can say what you're saying. They definitely would. And that makes it dope, it's kind of like improv. It's like, use what everybody sees to be reality, You know what's funny is, like, personally as an artist, right? Like, it's easy to get pigeonholed because just like being a TV actor or whatever, people say, "Oh, I see you in that. I'm going to call blah 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 for that." And so it's funny. Here, this is crazy. I say this. People that really know me know this. I say this. Quo and I talk about this too. Is that I don't actually like boom bap beats. It's fun. Like,
you don't?
No love for. I don't have any real love for real old school either. Like, I'm not a real old school person, but there's certain people from the old school that I like. Like, I'll go on record and say a lot of old school rappers are just straight whack, right? They really are.
They're very Sesame Street-ish.
Yes, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, this stuff is not that good, right? And so what's funny is, like, I like classic sounding beats, yes, but the beats that are like boom boom, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, that's all we can do. It sounds literally like third grade kind of like music, and I've never ever liked that, right? Like,
yeah, I feel you.
If a beat's basic and stripped down and I got the right sonics to it, I'm cool with it. So I guess what I'm getting at is, it's funny because for the last 5 to 10 years, especially with the 808s leading the way again, right? 808s is so old school, right? And it's like 808s leading the way. It's like I've always felt like the music still sounds pretty old school, and then there's pockets and waves of where you'll go, yeah, this stuff sounds like space music. But even the space stuff to me sounds old school because it takes me back to the stuff that sounded like space music back in like the 70s and 80s, right? And it's funny because it's like, just make good music, right?
Good music.
And do it a little bit out the box, a little differently than somebody else. And I'll rap on anything. I don't care what it is. It could be, I listen to West Coast music when West Coast is popping, Southern music, drill trap, any music, right? If it's the good version of it, is always dope. And then there's the bad version of what's out that the cookie cutter, restamped, recycled, that I find whack. And so it's like, I hear a beat that isn't something that I necessarily rap. Like, I mean, I did an entire album with Shame, who's like classic kind of like mid to late 90s, like premier sounding dope stuff, which you could say is boom bapish, but it's like, but he does it in a way that it's like classic, right? So I'm like, yo, I'll do that whole album. But someone might hear that whole album and hear an artist and go, oh, they're changing because, it's like, Jay and I, we say this all the time. Like, give me a poppy sounding beat, I'm real happy with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's, what I mean by that is if it's melodic, if it's musical,
I was just going to say that.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I see so many artists be like, "Oh, I can't rap," but be like, "Come on, bro! Like your stuff's boring." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you might not like the way you sound on it if you're that person, but you
Yeah,
probably if you're a true MC, you can pretty much rap on anything.
absolutely.
We may not like the way we sound because to your point when you started getting into pop and the melodics, it's not just about your tone. You have to be
Right.
mature enough in your writing to know that your tone now has to match the
That's right.
instruments in order
Absolutely.
for
Your
it to
tone should
sound
match
good.
it. Well said. Exactly. Yep.
And
Well said.
so you start to get into a different level of expertise and stuff like that. So people hear a pop track and they want to just go at it and rap, and they sound horrible because they don't get the tone shift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny how some music doesn't age well. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Isn't it though?
there's a lot of music right now which we know is not going to age well, right? And there's a lot of stuff that we like to pretend was better than it was. You know, like people, whatever era they're from, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, there was nobody better than." And here's a classic example: Run DMC, right? Run DMC.
They were Sesame Street. They were Big
Yeah,
Bird.
it
Ernie,
hasn't
the whole nine.
aged well. And I know some people right now go, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're saying it's so blasphemous." I'm not talking about like some of their biggest hits. Some of their biggest hits are dope, right? Like I get it, but they're like B-sides are just like, this is awful. It's just awful. And I get that it was cooler when it came out because you didn't see people like them and sound like them or whatever. But go back and sonically listen to some of that stuff and be like, "Yo, this did not age well." Whereas just like a year or two removed from that, you can find some LL stuff that did kind of age pretty well. Granted, he's got a few things.
Yes, sir.
For the most part, there's something real different between LL and Run DMC. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way about Dipset, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you what I think part of it was, and I said this to myself, because I was
Dubstep will not age well.
I was jotting down about like a Cash Money versus No Limit kind of verses, and I was thinking about the Locks and Dipset.
Epi's holding it down, by the way. Sorry, just Epi, you're on point. Bro.
Yeah, Epi's on point like an arrow today. And so anyway, long story short, the reason why
you gotta read this one up.
Look at Nas, cryptocurrency, and all the up-to-date strikes, and then falling back to the projects and the going into business. The resurgence, man. The resurgence.
I'm sorry, bro. I took you out of your zone though.
But look, it was important for me to be able to see that sometimes culture and overall style and charisma, like you said, now some things we tried that we wanted to like more than what it was really worth because of the charisma of the artist. And I think I felt like that about Dipset. I didn't really, especially listening to like Rockefeller and some of the Locks and some of these other groups who really had artists that were just hard.
Put it down, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you hear them and just like, but it was just something about their charisma. Like the Diplomats logo, there's not a rap group out there that can even come close to how like the aesthetics of the group.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like it was just a different level. And not because their music
will put
was
you under the floor.
Man, Benny will rap any one of them under the bus.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had plenty of artists on the label that would rap them under the bus, and you start thinking about stuff like that. And so I'm thinking about and the way they went about their business too, with getting with working with distribution deals, so that would catch the thing that other people weren't doing at the time. So it was like
really fly beats with really average rhymes on top of them.
You know what I'm saying? It was the charisma, man, that really made them pop. And I felt the same way about Run DMC. They were like the Dipset, man, kind of like the, you know what I'm saying?
But no one was doing that at the time. So it was like, I want to be like them. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
The Stan Smith with the
But then when you stand back and listen to it, I don't know if I want to sound like them.
At all. I just want to be like them. They the coolest people on the planet.
I'm here to rock it. I mean, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But it's not the first thing that I'm checking for. When people say, "Yo, I want to hear some old school hip hop," I don't really want to hear that much Run DMC. I'm sorry. I'm just. Shout out to my man DJ RBI too. I had this discussion with him once. He almost like punched me, I think, when I said this.
I actually don't ever really say that. I don't think I've ever said that I want to hear Run DMC. I don't think I've ever said that.
Yeah, but it's like there's other artists like that too. Like I get the charisma. I get how cool they are. Give me 4 bars and I'm good. I give you a perfect example. Super old school. MC Shan, right? Give me 4 bars of MC Shan so I can hear his voice, but he ain't ever said a fly word of his life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this dude has no bars. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people want to be like,
Oh
yo,
wow,
Shan was such a beast. No, he wasn't. You know, it's like
not at all.
he was not. You know, but I'm not trying to insult these legends because they're legends and they did their thing. And like you said, the charisma is there. But I'm just talking bars and do I want to go back and hear the song? I think it's cool to hear like, you know, like yo, the bridge is over though. I'll go back and listen to that. Like,
Yeah.
like I can listen to that track. But even that, it's boom. And I'm like, all right, bro. Like it's cool. Like I said, I'd rather hear that than Shan. But I'm just saying, we have this nostalgic view of like whatever
it's
our
definitely
old school
nostalgia,
is.
man.
You play it and it's like, okay, find me any average rapper right now who's like an actual rapper. I'm not talking just someone going, but I'm saying, you know, the skills are immensely better. It's the same as the NBA, bro. It's just like I don't care. Like I do not take the old school side of the argument ever. Every single baller who's in the NBA right now would crush your favorite like basketball player from the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
like,
telling you, man, we're definitely era biased, man. That's just how it is, man. We protect our generation.
You'd be like, yo, but this is the one you hear in Boston all the time. Yo, but Bob Cousy is just so amazing. And it's like, bro, he dribbles like
they
I
didn't
do
even
with my
dribble.
left
I
hand.
was just gonna say that they didn't even
one
dribble
hand
with two hands, bro.
It's like someone tied your arm. But I get for the day he was incredible. You know what I'm saying? I give it props. Like for your day, you were the man. But it's like you couldn't get to half court dribbling that way, like in the NBA right now. Any average person defending, and so people just overly nostalgically like, yo, I think it was so great. It's like, bro. He dribbles like my son will next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and here's why, because he's watching N1 and all that kind of stuff. You know,
exactly.
the N1 world, you know?
Exactly. It's all relative. It's relative.
Even saying N1 is very dated, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
If you really
he does watch The Professor all the time.
Watch Professor. And look, there's a game that my kids play called 3-on-3 or something. So they have some of those N1 characters on there. And so, like you said, man, it was just a time where just being able to put the ball on the ground and keep it in your hands was like, what? People actually can do that. And then people start taking it in between their legs. And then this is what really changed the NBA forever. Then the ABA merged, and then they got people slam dunking. Like, oh my God, what is going on? And so we've evolved so much from that.
That's right on, bro. Look at this. A good comparison is Guru and how his work will stay classic and how the damager got swept under the rug. Well, that is true. Now, I like Jay with the Damager. Like a Jay with the Damager, I think he has serious skills, but it's just like he definitely stayed in one lane. I mean,
one lane.
Jay with the Damager. You can hear one Jay with the Damager, and you can hear 100, and you hear Jay with the Damager.
The same one, right? You heard one, you heard all.
Guru for Guru's similar too. Guru definitely stayed the same, but it's like there's certain rappers who never switch it up, and they're like, you can listen to. Most people, they're plus or minus just a few degrees, and that's cool. And but then you see people, their careers have lasted forever, and they know. It's like you said, it's the voice inflection on certain songs, it's the tone, it's the choosing the right beats. I mean, AZ is incredible, but he chose some awful beats. Like he'll have 3 good songs on an album. Every one of them is lyrically, flow is incredible, and then it's like, dude, like you decided to go with that beat.
Like, you chose that. You heard that and said, "Oh yeah, this is the one."
Like that's the one, bro. It's like you're really, really showing some desperation on your. Yo, bro, that beat's hot. No, it's really not. See, again, you fell for the charisma of the producer. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I had three. I had 3 different facts. No, this is 3 different people over the last week asked to do a collab, right? In my inbox, as you may know, I don't generally do collabs, right? Like I gotta really know you. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't. And apparently, they didn't know, but
they didn't get the memo, right? So I don't know how to reply. Like,
do the collab, man. Do the collab. Come on,
no. I think I'm not. But here's why. Here's why.
I know you're not.
You know what? And definitely 2 of them are very good. They're very good. I don't know them though. You know what I'm saying? They're very good. But here's the thing. They have not been vetted. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel now in this world that we're in, which this is much more reality than we thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? For what we're like, when it gets back to normal, we're pretty much in normal, right? It's like virtual is as much real as right about now. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm kind of in this, like, I don't know you, and I don't know if you're crazy. I don't know if you're going to come out and take 8 years to do the track. I don't know if you're gonna think I'm a jerky boy because I want to charge you for it. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like all this awkward stuff that I would just rather not do the track. Like, I mean, call me non-confrontational, but it's like I want to charge you $1,000 for me to do it. But
Right.
I'm not worth $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I
You're
ain't gonna
trying to find that
you
balance.
ain't gonna get your $1,000 return on your investment, but that's what I feel my worth is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want to have the conversation. And it's like I guess I could say 750 or whatever. I've done a couple for that, and it's like I don't like doing them. You know what I mean? And it's like I like rapping. I like rapping with other people who I know are gonna put the stuff out, who I know are not gonna embarrass me, for lack of better words. Meaning
Right.
like the track's gonna sit on their shelf and they're not gonna do anything with it. And be like, yo, how did Pro get on a track and the track did nothing? You know what I mean? Like it's like.
So couldn't that be part of your verbiage though? Like, okay, I would do it if you're releasing
but I don't
it.
know the person. You know what I mean? And it's like they might be watching. You know, so but it's like here's what I'm saying. But if this is you out there, it's like I don't know you. I want to root. It's like going to see a comedy show. You always root for. No one goes to a comedy show and goes, "Boy, I hope the comedian sucks tonight." That would be fun,
Right?
You know what I mean? It's like I hope you're dope. I hope you're gonna do all this stuff, put in all your work or whatever. But what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not worth the money that I believe that I'm worth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to have that conversation. So if you want to make it easy, just lead with, you know what? You're probably worth like $3,000, but I only got 600. I'd probably do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that would,
Right.
I would feel for you. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, yo, I feel for you, and I appreciate that you appreciate me, and tell me the hustle and grind you're gonna put in. I would probably do it at a self discount. You know, but otherwise, I honestly don't even care about $600 that much. I hate to say that, but
it is what it is, man.
For the work, you know what I'm saying? It's like 1,000 is where I start to get interested, and this is why I don't really do any collabs.
I mean, but honestly, how much work are you gonna put in, though? Honestly,
I'm not gonna put in much work at all. But
exactly, it's taking what 30 minutes.
That's all. That you're shooting the mark there, but from no, I mean, you know, from the time I hear the beat or whatever, yeah, maybe.
Okay, an hour. I give you an hour to
an hour is
rewrite
definitely the max. I'd have to be like stumped. There'd have to be a lot going on in the room, but no. But honestly, I would probably come back to it, listen to it, you know, be like, "Is that dope?" Record it, send it, blah blah blah.
Bro, that's $600 an hour.
I don't look at it like that though.
I know, but now you can't.
Like all the issues that might come up because I did a track with someone I don't know, and like where that's gonna go, and then it's like again, and with the whole clean thing too. Like I listened to 2 out of the 3. And 2 out of 3, they're cursing every other word. And it's
no,
like,
I'm not doing it. If it's got all that going on, I'm not.
I don't want to have that discussion. I don't want to. Yeah, it's not like I can't be on a track with someone cursing. I like honestly, I don't really care that much. But I would like to be able to do a track with you that I could let my son hear. I would like to do a track. You know what I'm saying?
So no, that's important.
Like you're coming on my track, I'm not letting that go. But I'll go on your. I guess you can curse and do what you want. But I'd rather my market, right? My core market. Right, is like probably would help you if you came more over to what I do, because I'm assuming you're coming over to me because I can maybe get it in places that you can't. And it's like you got to be in my power lane. You know, my power lane is colleges, high schools, maybe middle schools. You know what I'm saying? And like doing
that's
interviews.
Important.
Yeah, man, all that stuff. Maybe getting it placed. You know what I'm saying? And if you shoot yourself in the foot before that.
I'm gonna read something to you. I was trying to read something to you that my wife sent me. It was like a fortune cookie thing, but anyway,
Guru, the king of monotone, he let everyone know how to gate. Yo, man, don't be dissing Guru, bro.
I'm telling you, man. It's like
the earlier one sounded like you were a fan of Guru, and we were letting that fly. But all right, here's the next one.
It says this: when your
$1,000 an hour is not a bad work hour.
It's not a bad work hour, man.
It takes you forever to get to the point where you can do it that fast, right? You put in years to. It's like a lawyer. You don't charge. The lawyers charge for what they know, right?
Right. So I guess
more than likely, I'm going to reply and say, I'll do what I usually do. I'll be like, I got a lot going on. I got a lot going on. So it's like, I got a lot going on, and, you know, hit me back later if you really want me to be on it. But I'm not sure right now. Send me some more stuff, and basically let me follow you for a little while and see what you're about, and then we'll figure it out. So,
I know that you're not easily influenced outside of your own influence, but how do you feel?
I'm influenced enough to try to think about what the heck that meant.
So, like, for example, like once your mind is set on something, like it's just that's where it is.
No, because I'm wrong a lot.
No, not in the right and wrong kind of way, but like when you're because you know what you're looking for,
Oh,
to
we're on that.
deter you from that, it would be difficult.
I'm still wrong a lot. Like with that, like sometimes I'll listen to someone one time and I'll be like, they're kind of garbage, and then I'll listen again.
And you're not. You're
light,
being modest. You're being modest. You're not wrong that much. First of all,
but I have been off about my opinion. All right, hey, look, I can pick some famous songs throughout history that I thought were totally trash the first time I heard them. Then I heard them like 5 times. I was like, yeah, this song is actually. I know that's human tendency, but I'm just saying I can unfortunately give people not the benefit of the doubt sometimes if I don't listen long enough. Is all I'm saying. So I feel like I'm going to know a gem in 6 seconds, and if they didn't do it in 6 seconds, I'm like, trash. And then I listen. Like, you know what? I might have missed the mark a little bit.
But I hadn't really heard songs that got much better after the first 30, 45 seconds.
Well, you clearly have not heard Baby Shark. Just kidding.
Baby Shark come out the gate ready. You know what I'm saying? Baby Shark come out the gate ready. You know what I mean? You know it's gonna be Baby Shark big from the jump. You know what I'm saying?
Have you heard what's it called? Dance Monkey? Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Oh
yeah.
My son sings that 24/7. Yeah.
24/7, man. It's
I
like
love
little
that
kids.
song now. That's my point. I heard that song 8 million
version
times. I'm like, yo, there's something. They got something here.
Yeah, when you listen to the actual content, man, the lyrics of it is actually well written. Yes, I agree.
I don't want him going to that deep level with it. I don't even want to tell him because he's just liking. He thinks it's a monkey dance and he thinks it's great. He hasn't done the deep dive there into the issues going on in that song. But
one thing my wife has been really great at that I'm terrible with is finding ways to convert things that my kids would enjoy into a version that's palatable for them, right? And so I'm a lot more strict when it comes to, okay, you can or you cannot do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always that the things that they want to do are wrong or immoral. It's just that I'm always trying to consciously protect them, like you mentioned, like with the dance monkey, is that I know that there's more to it than what you're aware of.
Right.
And so, and rather than put you at risk, I'll just say, no, don't listen to that. Or no, don't do that. And she's great at finding ways to be able to allow them to enjoy things that should be enjoyable in a way that they can, consume it and it's not risky.
What you're telling us is you're the one who's wrong the most in your relationship.
Most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm agreeing with you. And so
but I have the opposite role though. However, my wife is much more that person and I am much more the couldn't we do it this way? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm definitely the softer of the two, is what I guess what I'm saying.
We're probably the opposite in our relationship. So I'm like definitely probably a lot more harder on my children.
Yeah.
We definitely balance each other out perfectly in that regard, as far as like she's 100% available emotionally to them, and like they absolutely need that because if they didn't have that. You know what I mean, man? I'm flunking, okay, drastically. Like, and I'm talking about like when the 90s grading scale flunking.
Yeah.
When it was hard to
real flunk.
Yeah.
It was a hard F. 47. Yeah. There was no D-
at all. And so it works. And then I'm like, on the other side of the scale. And so because of her, like you mentioned, with the whole, being extroverted thing, like I've slowly worked my way closer to the middle, and being, more emotionally available to them. And sometimes it's easier for me to be a lot more structured and sturdy with them because I know that they are getting the emotional part from her. And so it allows me to pull back sometimes because I do actually need to in order for them to get what they're missing. And she reminds me often, about those situations. And music is one of those great scenarios where like kids bop. And so it's the popular versions of songs. Popular version of songs, but it's like a real kid-friendly version.
Yeah.
And that's when I've heard some of the stuff because I really don't listen to like mainstream or circular music in general. And back to the point about, just with other artists. And I feel like even with your music, that if you did more features, people would really appreciate you like I do. I'm telling you, man, they really appreciate you as much as I do. There's too many people, man. You passed up on so many opportunities I hear you talk about all the time. I know, like, regularly people like, Pro, Man, I'd love to do a
It
feature
was like
with
when
you.
Quo told me about you.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You're
was
like,
like,
nah.
I was like, I guess I have to check out his video or something. Like let me look.
Yeah, bro, you got to get in there, man. Do them features, man.
His
Even if
name's
you do it
Fly.
for.
I mean, come on, it's like.
And he didn't say it right. He should have really introduced this Forever Lives Yahweh.
Yeah, maybe
that sounds much different.
It sounds like
than just saying
very
Fly.
noble.
You know what I mean?
Like Fly. Like what's so fly about Fly?
And Fly sounds so typical, and it sounds cookie
A
cutter.
little typical. I mean, not as typical as lyrical, right?
I guess, yeah. I guess if you put it like that,
pro.
then in a lot of ways,
What's
pro
going on with
lyrical.
this? Pro, short for professor lyrical. Like what? Fly? What?
Man, I put a lot of
Quo
effort.
will make you say, "What is that about?" See, Quo. I mean,
make you wonder a little bit.
Something going on there.
I aimed for the shock value when I actually prayed about my name, honestly, and meditated about it. I went by the alias Fly when I was doing circular music.
Right.
And
that'd be secular, but I know you didn't mean circular.
Yeah, secular music.
It was that accent.
It's just liners in my mouth.
You can get away with it with that accent.
I mess up words all the time.
You're like, I don't have an accent.
And
is your accent more South or is it more Chicago? You sound like some kind of weird blend.
It's probably a weird blend because of there's a lot of Southern influence in my current vernacular. When I first got here, people knew I wasn't from here.
Yeah, because you have the hard ending R, like you have the Chicago-ish.
That's the Chicago in me. Like it's just like we say ka, fa, all that kind of stuff. It's weird.
But it's a different way. It's like
it's
like a clearer way.
That's that South kind of with his grip in my vernacular.
Bro, I forgot to tell you.
Life.
This totally reminded me. Did you see the album review that we sent? It had a big. It said something to the extent of it was like Fly, the dope one on the track, or something like that.
No.
It was something like it was saying something to the extent of I have to find it. Or LD has it, but it was dope. It was dope review. It was it was like it was a review by a dude who doesn't really know you. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't really know it, whatever. He's like this, like this, like this, like this. And then every now and then there was something like, this could have been a little better, right? So I was like, okay, it's fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whatever he said about you was definitely dope. It was something to the point where, and then Fly, whose style was way different. It was either way different or way better. It was definitely said like it was something to the extent of like Fly, who actually stood out because he rapped like he had a real style or something to the extent of that. It was like but there was something else too in that too that reminded me too about and I'm trying to think how I first even got over there because it wasn't that. I was thinking it was something else you just said. It was like you changing the Massachusetts. They said this what it was. They said this about me. They said Pro, who's extremely Massachusetts. He's like Pro, whose accent is like extreme. And I'm like, I go out of my way to try to not sound too Massachusetts. I'm like, I'm clearly not doing a good enough job. Maybe this DC thing is rubbing off. I mean, I don't know, but
I don't know, bro. I don't think you sound real Boston-ish, Massachusetts-ish. I don't
because
really
when I want to, I can, and I don't think I sound like it on the album that much, So.
No, I don't think you definitely sound East Coast. When you rap,
they said something. They said East Coast, and they were like grind. It sounds like a typical, not typical, but he said it sounds like a battle rap. They said Quo sounds like a battle rapper. And then I sound like one of the New England grind time cypher video rappers, and I was like, okay. And,
which I appreciate cypher. This is gonna sound crazy, maybe not, but battle rap is my favorite form of art.
Form of art.
Man, I absolutely love.
You gotta get out more, bro.
I absolutely love battle rap, man. It's so personal. And it takes a lot of components. I think battle rap should be a sport.
Oh, absolutely. I get where you're going there. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go and put it out there. It should be an Olympic sport.
Right. No, it will be. It will be.
Battle rap should be an Olympic sport.
I
honestly,
I've had this discussion with many people. I agree.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like if people knew how much preparation goes into be able to put in a 9-minute, 10-minute, 7-minute, or whatever. I mean, if you're real serious and you're really in it, to remember that much content, to remember the antics, the style, the delivery, and to remember that much about your opponent, even to add rebuttal, some freestyle, and to write stuff that's relative that the crowd is going to understand. It's an art, bro. It's a pure art form. I'm a little biased too, though, but
it's my personal, like, it's my I said my so much that I kicked him out. I was about to say it's one of my favorite things too, but not of all art was where I was gonna go with that. Like, in terms of hip hop, yeah, absolutely. But maybe I gotta think about that. I was saying for me, before you disappeared, I was like, it's one of my favorite aspects of hip. It's actually the one that I'm probably most talented at. Like, my thing, like, I feel like if I'm gonna write a rhyme about you in advance, and it comes to the antics of how to pull it off and deliver it, there's a lot of people in trouble. Like, that is like, and it's funny because I don't actually do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was more in the freestyle era, you know what I mean? And then I kind of got weirded out because I was trying to go through about a decade ago, really trying to get into the non-cursatory kind of world, you know, and then when I came down here and they told me they had this corporate one going on where you got to write a rhyme for corporate and battle all these other people. And I was like, there's no cursing to that. They were like, no. I was like, oh, that's my lane. I'm going to win that. I got myself a big old bag for that. So shout out to me. But yeah, like that's my favorite thing too, in terms of like hip hop. But I don't know if it's my favorite thing in terms of all art. Like, that was big. But I'm thinking about, like, but then you have me thinking about it and I'm like, art, man. I'm like, I'm right there with spoken word slam poetry too. I think, like,
I feel that. I definitely feel that. I feel that battle rap is all of that in one. I feel like battle rap is everything hip hop in one.
Right. Shout out to Abdi. The world is lucky. Pro uses his talents for good. Yeah. Try to, man. Abdi, if the wrong person, you know what I'm saying? If they, you know what I mean?
Bro, we got faith in you, bro. You gonna stick it out to the end.
I said publicly the other day, someone was talking about battle rapping, and I was like, I was really going through my head of, like, all the organized battles that I've been in. I think I've lost 7. I think I've lost 7 organized battles, and I think I've won approaching 30. Right. And I was thinking about the 7 that I lost. Right. 2 of them were, like, super deserved. like I was being D-bag central. I was a jerky boy. I should have. A couple of them they were really based more on crowd response, and I rolled in with like 2 or 3 people, and like people that I knew were in the battle were rolling in with like 50 deep, and I was like, that was just ignorance on my part, you know. And I was in this one before where they had 32. This is the weirdest thing they ever did. It was an Iron Mike battle, it was called, right? They had 32 MCs in the thing, and I beat everybody, right? But what they told me at the end was, and this was the weirdest battle I was in, they announced after everyone rapped in their round who was the leader. So, like, the first 32 people go, right? 16 versus 16, right? They go, and the leader after the first round is Lyrical, right? And they did it every round. And I was the same thing after every round. It was Lyrical. It was Lyrical. 5 times you got a battle, right? When there's 32 people.
Oh, wow.
At the end, and this kid was dope that ended up having a battle at the end. At the end, they sprung it on me. They go, and this was when it was freestyle. This wasn't written battle rhymes. Right. This was just freestyle, right? This was like 2004 or something like that, right? They're like, they go, and I traveled to this thing, and I was like, I had the money in my pocket, right? I'm like, beat 32 people, right? And there were some dope people, right? But it was like all night, crowds off their chair. It was like I was clearly the dominant animal. Human nature is going to set in at some point where you want to root for the underdog, right? So then what happens is in the last round, I can feel that, like, it shifted a little bit. Like, after a while, it wore off. You know what I mean? They were like, okay, like, you want to see someone beat the person that they keep saying is number. So I could feel in that last round that I was losing the crowd a little bit, right? But I still got through, and I'm thinking I won. And then they go, oh, and now you got to battle last year's winner, right?
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah. And so we did. And that dude had been watching me all night.
All
and,
night.
And then got punchlines for me or whatever. And I'm up there like, and I'm just heated. And like, I was such a D-bag in that last round. And they were like, well, we're going to call it a tie. And I was like, there's no way this is a tie. I was flipping out. And I was like, and they're like, oh, cool, you lost. They were like, we're giving it to him.
Yeah,
He
okay,
beat
we'll
you.
just give it to him.
I was like, yo, so it's like attitude, man, in these battles. Like, that's the thing. You got to keep your composure. You got to be likable. You know, I used to go in and just try to be the hardest in the world, come up with the punchlines that would punch you in the face. And, you know, I was good at that. So that's what I did. I didn't have the nuances down. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, yo, I go into a battle. I'm like calm, cool, and collective. And I even started that near the end of where I started doing the freestyle ones. I'd go in, the hardest dudes would come in, and I was straight comedy, you know, and it'd just be blah blah blah. And I like
actually
that.
Clever though.
I like that, you know. That's like my lane, you know. Like someone would be super hard, and I'll be like, okay, I see what you're doing there, tough guy. You know what I'm saying?
How can but so how just listening to you talk, you know, you're just drooling talking about battle rap. That's why it's my favorite art form, because it can be funny, it's entertaining, it could be, you know, like relatable. It just has so much in it, and then it could be all the good things. Pro used to go to war for the cause, but now he's
much more.
passive.
I say that in a rap.
It's beautiful, man. It's battle rap is beautiful to me, man. And you know, sometimes I'm from the north, so you know we're exaggerative. We either really hate something or we really really love it. It's either the worst thing we ever heard or it's the best thing we ever heard.
Yeah.
So I'm probably exaggerating just a little bit. I love battle rap that much.
I said a punchline a year and a half ago that I haven't really used in a rhyme. And I'm like, I think it's my best punchline I've ever said. And it just reminded me of it. I'm like, yeah, I got to put that in a rhyme. I'm going to tell y'all what it is too. So when I come up with a new track, I'm going to break this punchline down for you, right? I said, they talk about sales and streams are what make MCs successful. Now you got to think about who I am, right? I'm a math professor or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, not on the major label kind of thing, right? But Sony distribution thing that's even independent.
You know what I'm saying?
But anyways, they talk about sales and streams, what's make them see successful. But I put bars over numbers like repeating decimals.
Ooh.
What? I was like, what?
That's clever.
Numbers. Like,
that's clever.
Who I am, right? Like that's so
clever.
I'm thinking about making a whole rhyme about that topic.
You got a 4-bar that one. That got to be the last one.
Yeah. So no, but anyways, like I get excited with punchlines, right? I get excited with like even on this album we're talking about, like we have certain things that we say. Like when I say a doctor and a beast come together, Mark Ruffalo. I was talking about the Buffalo. I was like,
but can't you feel it? Can't you feel it though? Can't you feel it? You can feel it when you're in your bag, bro. Like you can feel it. Sometimes, and I don't know if people understand, but you never plan it that way. But every now and then you get real. You catch that word phrase that comes to your mind like once every month or once every 100 raps you write, and you just get in your bag and you can feel from the jump like, oh yeah, I can't let this go, and then just this explosion of rhymes come out of you, and you like, where did this come from?
Yep.
And it's just
I say that all the time. I feel like calling someone up, you know, like I'll usually call Quo or something, or I'll talk. But a lot of times I don't tell anyone. I just in my head I'm like, ooh, like that rhyme. Like, I think I might have told that one to Quo and whatever. But I'm like, yo, that punchline is stupid. And the thing is what the brilliance of what you're talking about the art of battle rap is that the problem is if you don't know, you don't know. And so having to explain battle rap to people who don't get it is really, it's like having to explain a joke. It really takes the brilliance of battle rappers should be exalted. You know what I'm saying?
It really should.
Like, this is exactly what I speak about to educators. I'm like, the brilliance that you miss in MCing and hip hop or DJing, whatever the art is, right? But using MCing as the one for right now is like, you're not getting. So when you're teaching a student the brilliance of like, say like Shakespeare or something that is so colloquial driven that we don't get it anymore, right?
Right.
You can bring it to life by doing it the same thing through hip hop, and you're missing out on the absolute genius, right? That is on a street level for when like, and I'll do demonstrations all the time and be like, listen, I'm going to tell you why this punchline is as sick as it is on 4 different levels. You know what I mean? And I remember when I did the Dead Presidents remix thing, when I said,
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
it was like, you know, I talk about that, right? It's
Them
Dead
4
Presidents.
lines was hard.
It's
oh my God.
it's because the track is called this, and it's the essence of it, and it's who it is on it. And you know, it's like John Wilkes killed a 16 in the booth. I mean, that's one of the best punchlines because it's on that track. This is a Dead President's track, right?
It enhances it. That whole set of bars that right there,
right,
Washington, and man, that was so cold.
Right, and you know it when you say it, and when you have to explain it to someone, you're in the wrong audience. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah. And that's the thing with battle rap; it has the wrong audience a lot of times. It's like the people who turn their nose up at it, and the people who don't even know it exists as a subculture are missing, and they're poo-pooing on the whole culture because of not understanding it. That's what kills me. I don't know if I still exalt it to the grand exalted. You know what I'm saying? Because I can honestly say that b-boying and b-girl, I mean, just breakdancing, just, you know, popping for me is like I think popping is so disgusting that I think popping is one of the greatest human achievements ever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people that can pop, I'm just like, yo, like
you're fascinated, huh?
Fascinated by it because again,
Barnum and Bailey
can't do it. You know, so it's like can't really, you know what I'm saying? But wow, you know, but can't really do it like that. But because I think what we can't do, we do have more of affinity to like DJs. I think people who are elite scratchers, I will stay up at night and watch elite level scratching, and it's like elite level graffiti. I think it's the beauty of incredible graffiti. It's just
I love graffiti.
So biased, but check this out. By the way,
the subcultures of hip hop, bro.
This is the one you can't see right here.
Great.
See, Halloween's coming up. Shout out to my man Mass. This is the Halloween version.
That's
he
clever,
turned the T as a
that a snake.
He got all kinds of ingredients in there. You got most of it's just drip, but like you got the spider web over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like all the
I love that.
Sauce.
Did you watch the Netflix show Get Down Boys?
No.
Whoa.
I haven't watched anything on Netflix in like 2 months. So
this is older. It's like a few years ago now.
Oh.
But it was called
the Get Down Boys. Is it the graffiti thing?
Yeah, with Nas.
A whole bunch of people told me to watch this.
Executive producing, and it had like
it doesn't pop up when I'm looking for stuff.
Grandmaster Flash, and it's kind of like how the boroughs developed, how the DJ really brought hip hop into being, and the graffiti and the pop, and had already. I can't believe you hadn't watched it. I would like to believe that you'd absolutely love the Get Down Boys, man. You love it.
I'm checking for it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Abdi here, man. Abdi, what are you doing to me, man?
And I think it's like a series.
Queen's Flip.
It's like a series of shows. I think it's maybe like 10 to 11 episodes or something, maybe 8 episodes or something like that. But when you start watching, you're going to want to watch the whole thing. I really think you're going to love it that much.
Cool.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. And so it really captured the essence.
They get some whack old school in there?
Yeah, definitely some whack old school in there, but it's the good stuff. Like
I'm gonna get a shirt that says whack old school.
I know,
right? I support whack old school.
I support whack old school.
I've made some whack old school. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand, you know what I mean? Like I got a whack old school record that y'all ain't ever heard. You probably never will.
We'll never hear it. I mean, we'll never hear
it. I don't even have that one on the wall. It's an actual record. I don't even have it.
Bro, the Get Down Boys, you know, maybe because that was a little bit before my time. I was born in '87, so I missed a lot of the early essence, which is what made it, you know, charismatic, and you know what made people fall in love with it, with the whole how it all came together with the graffiti and the pop and the lock, the breakdance and DJ and the MC, and how it was all together at one point. That was beautiful.
Absolutely. Yo, the first old school MC that I actually thought was dope was Kool Moe Dee. I thought Kool Moe Dee was like super cool when he was on Arsenio Hall. Yo, he was on on Arsenio Hall, and I don't know, it's probably like '92 or something. I don't know what year it was, but it was like, you know, when you were 3 checking that out, and you know, you saw the reruns. But
I had no idea.
It was a time where like you could only see rappers on his show. You know what I mean? Like it was such a treat to be able to see occasionally on MTV, but Kool Moe Dee wasn't like this huge MTV rapper, you know, and me too. Like I found these rappers later. It wasn't like I knew them when I was like, too. I found them later in life, and it was like, I heard Kumo D, and I was like, yo, like the way some of the things he said are crazy. Now he says them like he's 100 years old, but and I was trying to do the same thing. Make no mistake, I was trying to sound just like him. I was like, when I'm on the rhyme in a
I'm definitely gonna get this down pat.
Yeah. When I'm in a rhythm in a whatever say, I say, hey, I'm on the ProQuo Show. My name is Liver Cow, and I'm rapping the microphone just so well. Ha 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 ha. I wasn't doing the ha ha.
You wild, bro.
I'm throwing some Curtis Blow. But like, because I missed the Curtis Blow bus, I've always thought Curtis Blow sounded a little, far removed from
from current.
Far removed from current.
But you gotta appreciate that though, man. The era. So
but it is funny
feel like your greatest
old
era?
School. When people say old school now, it's so funny, because you're always waiting to see what they think, So to me, that's old school, you know what I mean? But if you got older friends or people who really loved it when they were super young or whatever, they'll fight you over that stuff. They'll be like, "No, man, T. LaRock was dope," and I'm like, "Come on, bro." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same people trying to tell you, like, I'm trying to think of a name of a basketball player, like DeBuscher or somebody like that.
Oh yeah. They get like a 95 rating on 2K, but he really was just like one dimensional.
Yeah, like, who are you talking about, man? Come on, yo. Like, yeah, like if you want to say basketball players from the 80s who were incredibly, like, and you want to say Dominique Wilkins, I'll ride with you, But when you start talking about, like, yo, Jerry Seasting was
really
like,
said the Busher, bro.
Like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, yo, who's the white dude for the Sixers? I get the wrong guy. Who's the white dude who always touched his face? John.
For the Sixers, George Michael.
He went like this all the time. No, I got the wrong league. He was on Utah. The dude on Utah.
Oh, the big.
No, the small guy. He was a guard. Not
John Stockton or Hornacek.
No, the other dude. Maybe he wasn't on the team. He always scratched his face. Somebody's gonna know who it is.
Jeff Hornacek.
Hornacek, that's it. Yeah. Like, people be trying to tell you he's nice. I'm like, he's nice at your local gym. Yeah, he'll score 100 on you at your local gym. But out there, he's he's not legendary. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
Legendary. And people do that a lot. They romanticize. You know what I'm saying? They just
I don't think I ever heard anybody talk that well about Jeff Hornacek, man.
I just pulled him up there because people were trying to say, like, he's an elite all-star guard or whatever. It's like, okay, he might give me his stats again one more time. And what is crazy though? Speaking of people who really couldn't ball, who were just incredible shooters, I was watching Dana Barros against Steve Kerr in the 3-point contest, and like Barros lost on like the last shot. And Steve Kerr shot 467 from 3 points for his career, Still the all-time leader in 3-point percentage.
The boy could shoot the rock, man.
467, bro.
He could shoot the rock. He could shoot the rock. Like, he could shoot it as good as anybody did.
467. I think he shot it a lot better. I was like, I didn't know it was that high. I thought he was like 44 or something. It was like,
even that's high though. But if you think about volume, I know volume takes a lot away from that.
Yeah, it's like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's brother is a higher 3-point percentage than him every year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No one's talking about Seth. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly. But Steph,
although shout out to
200
him
more threes than he. Oh yeah,
he's been getting in where he fits in for a dude who was in the D League and in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? But he's a legit Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying? He's
a legit.
He got more skills than Steve Kerr.
I mean, and with you being a mathematician, I'm sure you can attest to the fact that anything that if you're shooting, even if you're shooting 40%, the more you shoot, the lower and lower that percentage is going to get. Right. And so that volume does drastically affect that. You
can't move the needle as much when you have a bigger denominator, basically.
Exactly. Especially missing 3 out of every 7 you put up.
Yeah. It was like Paul Pierce had some years like that where it'd be like, he's shooting like 40%. And also he's got like 100 free throws less, 3-pointers less than everybody in the league who are in the top 10. But he's still snuck in there. He's still in the top 10, I think, all-time 3-pointers. I got to be getting out of here. I got to be getting off this ProQuo Show.
Bro, it's a pleasure as always, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. You're the unofficial official co-host, man. So, man, it's more official than unofficial. Yeah. Quo and I just show up, but you show up. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I get the advantage, man. I get to sneak in at the end.
You can be like, what? I didn't have my name in the show. It wasn't called the ProQuo Fly Show, but I can come when I please. You know, I get the best of both worlds.
And y'all get to set it up and show, man, and people get to listen to y'all talk for an hour and a half, and I get to come through with the refresher.
That's right. It's the ProQuo Show featuring Fly. That's what it is. That's what we do. That's what we do.
The best show in town.
Best show virtually, wherever you are.
Whatever town you in, we in your town. Whatever town you in, we in your town. We in virtual.
Speaking of my town, I want to shout out my shirt here. Did you ever do this? I don't know if you're like me, you do this. So this is let me move the mic out of the way. The Johnny Cupcakes UMass Lowell shirt. And so
like sponsorship.
Yeah, me and my man Presence, aka Jay Scott from Invasion, we did a UMass Lowell show. I'm from Lowell, and of course I went there. So they gave us these swag shirts, and when we did the show, whatever. And these are the Never Wrinkle joints, and they're like super soft. It's like, yo, this is like one of my favorite T-shirts. So much so that I got a second one, right? So, but did you ever do this? You find your summer clothes bag, drawer, suitcase, whatever have you, like with 3 weeks left to go in summer, you know, once it hits September, and you're like, that's where it was. That just happened yesterday.
The whole time, man. I was like, yo, I know I got more shorts and more short sleeve shirts somewhere. I don't know where they are. Because my regular 100 I know, right?
Here. And I'm like, jackpot. I was looking for something with my sons, and I was like, oh, a whole little suitcase inside the suitcase. That's why I didn't find it.
That just happened to me, bro. When we got ready to go to Atlanta for my birthday a few weeks ago now, man, I was looking for
thanks, Epi. Thanks.
I was looking for a Puma shirt or something with some swim trunks that I had. Man, I looked all over the place for them. Man, it's when I finally stopped looking for them. It was like I put them away. I really had to put them away because I felt like I wasn't gonna need them. Like it's pandemic time. Like, I'm not going swimming. Let me put them away in my, tucked away bag. And I didn't even think to look there.
Man, it sounded like part of a comedy routine here. We got. I would have killed if you got to come to some of my old comedy shows. But anyways, I know that secret of like where you put things away. Like they secretly do get up when you're not there, and they go back to the place you already looked 5 times. And they hide right out. It's like, yo, if you looked under the couch 3 times, is it really going to be there on the 4th?
Is it really going to be there on the 4th time?
Like, is it really going to be there? Right? Like, there's a little bit of a logic that comes up when we're looking for something that's lost. You know what I mean? And then, like, someone will try to help you, and you get pissed off at them. And they'll be like, did you check it? Of course I checked under the bed. That's the first thing.
Of course I looked under the bed. The first place
but when you check theirs, it's there. It sneaks in right, just because they want you to be that D-boy, because you were being that jerky boy.
Oh man!
And then it's like karma gets you. No, here's the thing. I've been thinking of some comedy stuff. I want to try it out with you before we go. Right. So I have no punchline for it. I just have the general idea. That's what I do when I do my comedy shows. I would come up to the stage and I'd be like, look, I don't really have the jokes worked out, but I have the essence of them, and I'd like to work out the essence of this joke with you and see if y'all feel it. Right.
That's comedy.
I would just improvise, right? And that's thus why I only did like 16 shows, because I did a couple that I did no practice for, and they went sort of epically bad compared to the others, right? So the ones that I was getting excited for, like the first 4 or 5 times, I'd even write down like 8 or 9 things that were like kind of gems, and I say, I'll figure it out when I get up on the stage. I'll be able to hone into the punchline, freestyle, right? And generally I would, because I actually thought about them, discipline, went through it, had a general like little list, and
right.
I kind of knew the intro and outro pieces. That's all I had. I didn't really have the funny. I had the funny, but I didn't know how to set it up, right? So I'd be like, yo, work with me on this. You can feel it, right? So I have a whole catalog of stuff I've been going through with COVID, and I think we're there now where we can do that COVID comedy, right? And so I was thinking of this one the other day in the bathroom, right? So I'm thinking about, is it really better to wash my hands? so bear with me, right? I'm going into the bathroom and I'm like, we've all done, as men, we've all gone to the bathroom where we've done sort of the immaculate conception, where we haven't really touched anything that we need to touch, and we just we get the
handle your business,
or we get it situated in a way where we don't actually need to touch anything, right? And you could pretty much like don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I don't wash my hands when I go to the bathroom. I definitely do. But what I'm saying is, if we were in a global pandemic, and where I know whoever just touched that toilet and that sink that I have to go touch to clean myself up, like, you got the dispenser, you got the soap, you got the sink. I'm thinking, if I have to touch the sink, I might be worse off than if I didn't have to touch myself
at all.
And what I'm saying is, I trust my stank much more than I trust your possible global pandemic. You know what I mean? So it was dawning on me, and I was like, would it actually be better to go into this bathroom?
That would actually work. You would actually be able to pull that off at a comedy show.
I think so. I haven't really thought about the joke part of it, but I've been starting to align all of the things of, is it better? You know, and that's sort of the granddaddy of them all. You know what I mean? It's like, don't steal my material, people. It's funny. I was in a room today. I was on Clubhouse for like a minute and 50 seconds, and the minute and 35 of them I was in Dane Cook's room, the comedian from Boston. He just started a room, and I was like the 20th person in there. And then like 5 minutes later, there was like 300. But it was funny. I wanted to jump and be like, Dane, I've done a few shows in Boston, bro. But yeah, comedy takes a lot of work. You got to really, you got to think it out, and you got to talk through it and work through it too, man. I guess you can kind of, like you said, man, kind of like with writing, man. I guess you can kind of get a feel, but like you said, that comes from experience, man. After working with crowds or releasing songs and getting responses. Like you said earlier in the show, how you built up through repetition and constantly doing it, the confidence to continue to do it. And so, yeah, man, you keep doing that comedy, bro. That's good. Yeah. I keep saying there's two things I'm going to do. One, I'm going to do more movie, television stuff, and I'm going to do more comedy stuff. And it's funny because after we did the first show, Pro and I, a few times, he was laughing the whole time. He was kind of like, bro, I didn't know you were going to come late. I was like, yo, man, like, it's funny to be funny, it's funny to not have to be 24/7 serious, you know what I'm saying?
I know, bro. We gotta do some improv stuff, man.
Yo, improv is the best, bro. If someone gives you like we should, you know what we should do? We should do some improv right now, right? So what we need is a topic, and we have to do some improv on it. And so, but the thing is it going to be improv comedy, or is it just going to be improv like a situation? I don't know. We can improv what the improv is, right? But anyway, let's see these last comments.
I'm probably terrible at either way, but
it'll be fun. Epi wrote, "Don't close the zipper. You might be minus a ball. Perfect for respite." Trina, awesome. Abdi, I'm working on a set, trying to get on stage. So Abdi, then what we need, if you're still there, bro, we need something to set off some improv. We're gonna do some ProQuo improv for you. We don't know what kind of improv we're gonna do. We're gonna roll with whatever you say, and then we're gonna close out the show because we got to get out of here.
It's the longest 30-minute show I've ever been a part of.
Too. It is. Did you catch the memo too that I wanted to do 30 minutes? I was like, yo, I'm gonna do 30 minutes and be out, because at the time I was thinking of the stuff that I needed to do after the show, and I got some of it done before, so it actually gave me. All right, so here we go. So here's one from Ready, Quo. It's going to come up on the screen. So I've been working on improving hemorrhoids for quite a while. And so the way that I've been working on it, right, to improve my own hemorrhoid condition, you just saw it there actually kind of casually. What happens is you sit for a long time in a chair. What happens is sometimes you get a little bit of sweat in the V, right? It's sort of the V that develops from the way that your legs go. And if you sit there quite too long, you have to do the jump. But you have to do the casual jump so that, when you're in the box like I'm in right now, it's hard to do the jump because you don't really have the headroom. But if you can pull it off in slight sort of intervals like that, you can actually improve your hemorrhoid condition. What do you think, Fly?
No, it's an excellent idea. But the part that you're missing, the part that you're missing is that baby lotion is really the way you improve hemorrhoids.
It's not that I'm missing. I've been there. I agree. Through experience, I know. Babies looking for where the missing baby lotion is. It's improving hemorrhoids. I mean, that's clearly the answer. It's not that I'm missing. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
So I guess in a weird roundabout way, improving hemorrhoids is kind of like the same way as improving dry skin and your sex life. I mean, if the baby lotion is really the key.
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely see where you're going. My question is with with improving something that is a negative, right? So if you're going to improve hemorrhoids, are you trying to improve the effectiveness of thereby which someone would contract the hemorrhoidal condition, or are you trying to improve the prevention of hemorrhoids? Because we could totally take that in a different direction. Because if you try to say more efficiently have hemorrhoids, there's a lot of things we can do, i.e. sit on the chair too long on one point and do the ProQuo show for much longer than the 30 minutes we advertise.
Hey, chocolate ice cream, yoga, and turmeric.
Wait,
knock it
what
right
kind
out the
of ice
park,
cream?
man.
What kind of ice cream?
Chocolate ice cream. Oh man, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, man. It's wonderful, man.
Puts a whole new spin on Rocky Road. Where's your mic go?
Man,
your mic is off.
Just avoid just.
We're losing you. I think you're working on improving the hemorrhoids clearly right now. You're improving my hemorrhoids, but unimproving your own. No, I can't hear you at all, bro. Got to improve your. Nope. Got to improve your Android. Not sure. I got to read these. I'm going to read comments here while you're working on what you're working on here. Have a wonderful weekend. Lotion. Wait. The lotion don't help because the roids start sliding in and out. I've never actually had hemorrhoids, so I'm not truly speaking from experience. I was kidding. Oh my God, LOL, yeah, you got to do a lean, aka gesture to pull it off like you drop something. Right. You got to kind of slide into it. I just call that improving wedgie, really, and I'm assuming hemorrhoids is in the same general area. I think Fly pulled the I'm going to sign off and sign out, or he's improving the hemorrhoids. You be the judge. Bro, what do you know about some turmeric? Yo, so you do got to get that show going, Abby. Abby, I didn't know, man. I didn't know you trying to pop in and out there with it. Looking like Killer Mike. See what I did there? All right. Yeah.
All right, I fixed my hemorrhoids.
All right, how'd you do it? Can you give us the secret?
Apparently, it's silence.
The silent treatment.
Apparently, silence heals hemorrhoids.
The Abby was talking about you got to do the lean. What I'm saying.
Make it slide in.
Yeah.
You gotta, yeah.
You don't want to look like it, but I feel what that is that's doing a silent but deadly. Like if you're trying to get one of those. Did you ever do that right in the middle and there's gas coming, but you try to, and then you realize you went too far and someone was looking, and you just try to play it off like you were going back and forth, like you were feeling the beat. Yo, what's going on?
That's the hemorrhoid rock.
You'd be like, you'd be like, that's when you're alone. Be like, but then you realize you're not alone. Oops, I just ripped that off the wall with my hat. That's improving the right.
Yeah, man, you're in the hemorrhoid Hall of Fame now, B.
Hold on, I'm knocking things off. But yeah, it's like, and you do that, and then you just have to start making a rhythm out of it. Like, yo, what's good? Yeah. I think we've pun intended, we've drained the roid. So
speaking of which, man, like I said, it's always a pleasure, man, being here.
Let's be clear, your boy Abdi also was clear of them roids. Right. Okay. Roids make me think steroids, bro. So, that's a whole different, like Fly was showing you there. Got a little
I'm glad.
There's not much in the cannon. There was not much there.
I'm glad he mentioned that because I actually named my hemorrhoids. One was Barry Bonds, the other was Jose Canseco.
Too much light. I can't really give you the tricep cut. There's too much light going on. There, a little bit there. You can start to see it. There we go. There. Oh, look, Fly. Oh. You wait. You're making the sound effect before you even looked. That clearly doesn't call.
Ow, that hurts.
Hold on. Let's get rid of Abdi's comment here. Let's go for maximum. Wait, how can I get rid of that? How do I have Fly comment? I got all right. We're going for that. I can't get rid of Fly. Even when I kick him out, I can't get rid of him.
He's just fly on the wall.
It's just, it doesn't look right. The light is not.
It's not defined.
It's not
on the light, man. It's not the light. The light's hating on your shine, man.
It's not good. I can't get the middle.
The light's blocking your shine.
That's a little better right there. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of start to see it. We're going for it. This is the quality programming you get when Quo's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Ow. It hurts.
All right.
Man, let me get out of here, bro. I gotta pick
All
my
right, bro.
plays up from football, man. I love y'all a long time. ProQuo X. It's your boy Fly. F.L.Y. Hey, bro, appreciate you having me, man.
It's your boy PRL.
Let's go. Peace.
All right, Joe. The ProQuo Show and the Fly Show is a wrap, baby. Peace. I knew you were going to say that, Abdi. I knew you were coming with that. I saw what you was typing. All right. Thank you all. Peace. I'm off to write more rhymes.